There you go. I was looming today. I grew an extra 7 inches. Nah. No, I didn't. Not there. We would like that one Ludwig gift. Hello, everybody. Ah. How am I yawning and the stream just started? It's just been one of those weekends. And how come you're streaming today? Well, I didn't stream yesterday. It's already Sunday night. I do not want to go to work. Don't remind me. This is my Sunday scary stream. It's because I didn't stream yesterday, and I was going to stream at least one time this weekend, but the time got away from me because I had some family in town, and I just wanted to make good on my promise to stream. And yeah, it's because today is my birthday. Wait, is it really your birthday? Is it really your birthday? Yo, Jam, is it really your birthday? What? Really? What? Happy birthday! What? Why didn't you tell me? What the heck? Alright, we're gonna sing happy birthday to my dedicated mod, my most dedicated mod. Yo, Jam. Okay. 3, 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jam. Happy birthday to you. What the heck? Well, then I knew that I streamed for a good reason. What were you guys up to this whole weekend? Does your family know that you were a virtual tuber girl on the internet? There's signs. Here and there. Mama Martin has been asking for the Senpai Squad merchandise, and I was like, I don't think you should put that on your car. I think that would be a bad idea. We were teaching Tungsten Deadlock. He's pretty good at movement mechanics. It spreads! It spreads! The Deadlock disease spreads. Actually, I was considering streaming that. Sorry, I'm yawning because I actually was napping. I was napping because I got up extra early today to see my family. Just got 4 losses in a row. I've been there. I think we were up 2, down 2 because I still want to do something with my community. So if you're interested in spontaneous movie nights and game nights, you should join the Discord using !Discord. But Mama Martin with the umbrella. I wonder who that old woman is related to. With the big chilla ears and bushy chilla tail. And the Ashley Martin umbrella. That's what the 12-hour chilla chat was about? That was me playing Mahjong and showing my Japan merch collection. There's many goings on in the Pit Crew Discord, and I'm happy whenever you guys hang out without me, actually. Because it's funny. I mean, I understand it, right? When I joined VC, everyone's like, they hop right in and they're like, Ashley, what are we doing? But it's also like heartwarming to see like, my community and stuff. Also, Eric, thank you for subscribing to sponsor for 13 months. That's the real year marker on Twitch, I believe. So thank you for a year of streams. Yeah, I know. I wonder who that could possibly be. Whoops. I sucked water down the wrong hole. But that being said, am I live? Yes. Am I live? Yes, but am I planning on streaming anything in particular? No, not really. Are you okay? I'm fine. I just had to cough a little bit. Your tiny uvula can't stop it. You guys remember what my uvula looks like? To be fair, that was one of my doxes. You don't know she's live until we look in the box. Yeah, so even if I'm theoretically live and you're watching me right now, perhaps this is all a figment of your imagination. Deadlock. Well, the thing is that I sort of anticipated, like, you know, it's already 9 p.m. But then again, like, 9 p.m. is hour 1 of my 4 or 5 hour streams in the weekdays. So maybe I'm crazy, but I could be dreaming this. You could be. This could be your stress dream before the work week starts. But I'm aimless. I just wanted to talk to you guys and see what you were up to. We watched a movie in the Discord last night, and it was called Masters of the Universe. It's the He-Man movie, and luckily it was a big group, and there were people in the pit crew who actually knew every single character and were able to be like, oh, that's so-and-so. Oh, that's so-and-so. Oh, that's so-and-so. It was a really strange movie. It felt like watching a movie made for nerds, but not being nerd adjacent. So, like, it felt as if I was a normie. Because I know so many comic book characters. I mean, I've seen 1,000 anime. Like, I've done my time in the mines. And so to, like, witness something that was, like, so incredibly, like, schlocky and silly that I have literally no idea what any character's name is, it was like, oh my god, I think this is what normies feel like when I'm, like, yammering to them about anime. Fisto! And then Tech Neck. Now people know Motu lore. Motu? Who's Motu? Mothman. Like, what? They were just making shit up. But actually, the way that they... Mechanic... Is that what I said? Mechanic, and then what else was there? Master of Arms? Oh, wait. Masters of the Universe. Motu! What the heck? I didn't even realize. But I've also never seen the She-Ra cartoon. I managed to avoid that... like the plague, because I was always more into yaoi. I was more on the Voltron side of things of Tumblr back in the day, and so She-Ra never, it like glinted off me like a pebble. Considering how horny that was, I'd say it feels exactly like you explaining yaoi to like normies. I know, it was so fucking horny. It was so horny that it like would be horny just because, like, they were making dirty jokes that didn't make any sense. It was like it'd be one thing if it was like made sense in the scene. It was like, I described it in such a way where I think it was pretty apt, where there's this thing that happens when you have autism. This is my preface. There's this thing that happens when you have autism where you have to learn social scripts that don't come easily to you. And so you have this like palpable awkward aura when you talk to people who are like neurotypical and stuff. And so there's like this cadence, a rhythm to conversations where it's like, how are you? Fine, how are you? And that like a lot of people will struggle with, or like struggle justifying, like, I don't know if I have to do these niceties or blah, blah, blah. But I've taken the time to learn that script, and so I've been able to adapt my life thusly and be like normie passing, I believe, if you'll allow me to be so presumptuous. And there's a thing that some movies do that I've noticed, because I am such like another trait of the touch of the tism, as you guys know, is like taking everything really seriously. And so when I watch stuff now, because I put in all this work to like understand like this is a social interaction that is going normally and average, and like I'm having a measured, calculated response to this person's remarks, and so like they won't clock me as awkward or weird, hopefully, because I know those like scripts and stuff and had to like learn them. I can easily pick out now in movies where this happens sometimes, where things will happen like there's a beat and then there's a beat in response and then there's a beat in response to that and then like the final ending beat, and they'll do the song and dance of like this was a successful conversation. Like character says one thing, other character makes ironic remark, there's some like quip back, and then the characters like laugh heartily or something, and it happened like 2 different times in the movie. And I noticed that like the things that the characters do were incongruent with like the other characters' reactions. So it was like a character would be like zip a bit bob, and the other character would be like, what the fuck? And then the other character would be like, and it's like, that interaction wasn't like a real conversation, but like they laugh it off as if it is, or like they like pretend like it was like a correct response, but it like tricks you, because if you're just watching the movie with your brain off, like if you were like high as fuck, you probably would be like you know, but like because I'm reading into like everything that these characters say to like try to get a read on the sitch, I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Like, that didn't make any sense. That didn't make any sense. There's this scene where it's like he's looking for his sword on Earth, and this one character's like, I found your sword, $300 and it's yours. Excuse me, I don't know why I've hurt my throat already. And he goes to this comic book shop that has his sword sculpted into a He-Man ripoff named like Tarfok or something. And it feels like when AI hallucinates. Yeah, it feels like when AI hallucinates. And so the character like introduces him to this, and so he points at the thing. I'm trying to remember how this goes. They forgot he was selling the sword. Yeah, the script forgot he was selling the sword, and then they're like so obsessed with like playing everything for laughs that the character is like, you saw nothing, ooh, and then backs away, but then he backs into a table and then knocks shit over, and then the main guy character is like a little perturbed and like laughs it off, and it's like that interaction didn't make any fucking sense. And it happens again at the end of the movie because they want to ham fist in the like ha 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 ha, because apparently that's a He-Man thing where they all put their fists on their hips and they lean back and go oh, they do the He-Man laugh, okay? And it's like one character says something and then the other characters quip back, and then everyone bursts out laughing, and it's like that didn't make any sense. That didn't make any, that there wasn't like a shot chaser, there wasn't like a punchline to the joke. That didn't make any sense. And it was like, I've noticed it multiple times where it's like you can, but this is the thing, even though I'm the one with the autism, you can trick normal people watching into thinking stuff makes sense and has like a measured reaction to stuff if the other characters just react accordingly. It doesn't need to actually make sense sometimes, I've noticed. And I feel like I look around like, did anybody notice that? Am I the only one that noticed that? Also, your ghost, thank you for subscribing and saying a sponsor. But it's funny. There's another example. Oh, I was comparing it to Amazing Digital Circus, but I don't want to get into that. It's just that I think people pointed out before a similar thing where it's like sometimes characters will react in a way that is unearned and incongruent with the dialogue because they want this like certain outcome, this like emotional beat to happen, but then it's like, why are the characters acting this way? Like, why Ragatha and Pomni, like they liked each other, but I don't think they fuck with each other like that. Why are they hugging for 3 minutes? You know, all you need is the right laugh track to move things along. Well, that was another funny thing about this movie, dead silent, no laugh track, which is but they had like other characters in canon laugh. So anyway, Yeah, why was she getting freaked with it and fondling her ass cheeks and stuff? What the heck? Smacking them, smelling her hand? Disgusting. I can't believe people stand for this. Did He-Man ever talk to the camera? I think he did like fourth wall breaks, like smirks one time. Like one time. But that being said, like, who the fuck wrote this movie? It was actually awesome. It was actually awesome in hype or moments. Except, you have to go in with your expectations low, if you know what I mean, because unfortunately, he usually stares straight into the camera and tells you a moral lesson. Oh, they didn't do that exactly, but it did have like a moral at the end of the story, I think, beyond just like He-Man. The needle drop when he first got attacked in the car was so fucking funny. I was expecting that song to play near the end. Yeah, they play the when I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and they played that in like the first 30 minutes of the movie. And it was during a scene where like a monster comes from Eternia, that's the name, to Earth, and it's like bashing cars in and chasing down humans and trying to kill them, looking for He-Man, and it's like such a funny needle drop for that one scene. But then otherwise, like it was all at the same time. It's all hype moments, and Aura isn't exactly correct because it does this like millennial or zillennial, which I just discovered is between Gen X and millennial, even though I thought it was Gen Z and millennial, but zillennial, so it's a little bit older than millennial. They do this zillennial thing where it's like they can't be like straight up about anything. Like they can't just like let them aura farm. They can't let them like have their moment. They've always got to undercut it some way every time. Like every time. Until the end of the movie, there's like one aura farm that's successful. But there's this one where it's like they all band together. Case in point, they all band together and are like, you know, we're gonna bust out of jail, out of Skeletor's jail. And then they're all like, okay, well, the bars are made of titanium, but the walls are just made of rock. We should just bust out. You should fist the wall. Yep, there's a guy named Fisto, so they're like, you know what? You should fist him. Fist him. And they're like, don't say that. Oh, why not? Your name's Fisto. Just fist him. Okay. And then there's another, what was the other dirty joke? Where it was like, that doesn't make any sense. Or like take it from behind. It, like literally so much homosexual humor. The head, yes. Yes, Technic has a stretchy neck and they were like, give him head. That's what I sound like right now. They were like, give him head, give him head. And the other characters are like, his blade between his thighs. That was it. The Skeletor is like, your hunky body with rippling abs, sweat dripping down your hunky thighs with a long blade in between. And it's like, that doesn't even make sense for a place for a blade to be. You just wanted to say something horny. That's so many jokes in the movie. But when you ignore all that, oh, I didn't finish the thing. Oh my god, the robot character was so awesome. She was so funny and quippy. And like deadpan, she was awesome. Like, low-key, she had a little bit of tism. I related to her. You're talking about the Masters of the Universe movie? I was so confused. Yes. Pretty sure Skeletor is just horny. Like, what? But that ending of the scene where they're like, okay, well, the bars are made of titanium, so we'll just bust through the rock. They bust through the rock, and they look like triumphant as they're walking. And then because it's dusty from the rock, all the characters start like hacking and coughing. And it's like, can we please just aura farm? Like, he just killed his dad on accident. Like, can we let the aura farm happen one time, maybe? I mean, He-Man was always a little gay, but this seems a bit much. Right, like this is gratuitous for even me. And I was under the impression that people also thought that he was a flaming and stuff, but like that far? Anyway, that all being said, if you guys know what He-Man is about and like He-Man, I think you should watch it because it actually was epic and awesome. There's so many, like, if you can appreciate it for like what... Just go in with low expectations, okay? Because the scenes where he transforms forms. It's like the direction. I think the main issue is just the script. Like, the script can't take itself seriously. It's not earnest in many places, but it also is earnest in some other places because they retcon the names, and I think this is perfect. This is like a perfect way to like ground a show like this. All the characters aren't actually named like Fisto and Goddess Warrior or something like that. That's just some shit that like little He-Man was making up when he was like scribbling on papers as a kid. And so it was like he has all these like superpowered guys in the King's Guard, and one dude has a big fist, so he names him Fisto, but that's not his actual name. So all the other characters are like, what the fuck, Fisto? And they laugh at it. And I think that's like the perfect way to play off like how schlocky and silly those names are. Battle Cat. It was clearly made with love. That's the thing. Even though it can't let a aura form happen, even though like it has to like make like a joke of like, yeah, we get it guys, like, you know, it's silly, we get it, you know, pushes bangs to the side. Even though like it can't do that, like it can't like let it just like stand on its own, it still is obviously made with a ton of care and love. Like you're telling me her name isn't Evelyn? Actually, her name is Evelyn because Skeletor calls her Evelyn. But all the other characters, like stupid superhero names, are not real. Also, Uni, thank you for subscribing and saying a sponsor for 23 months. Thank you. And also Lexicon, thank you for subscribing and saying a sponsor for 13 months. Welcome back. But you can tell like it is genuinely made so earnestly with like a loving hand, a loving touch. Basically the only issue is the script and like I guess a little bit of pacing, but like genuinely the VFX is some of the best VFX in memory, to be honest with you. It looks so good. It looks so good. The VFX and makeup of like the piglin orc guys is like Lord of the Rings level good. It is so good. And then there's this thing where Skeletor has like pinpoint laser pupils, and I don't know if you guys have ever tried this or seen this. If you point a laser at a camera, like a laser pointer, it'll sort of like scatter in this odd way that's different from a lens flare. And so when Skeletor is like looking into the camera, there's like a little like laser lens flare, and it's like that attention to detail is so crazy because it's like they could have given it like normal lens flare, they could have just given it like a normal glow and then like left it at that, but it's like that is so subtle but amazing. To be fair, around the 90s is when we started making lots of pervy jokes, and I guess they're writing on our millennial. That's true. I think that probably hit, you know. Sounds like they had a good VFX supervisor. Yeah, and I think it was like the director directed Coraline, or was like a CEO of Laika, and so it was like, oh, okay, there's a loving touch in here somewhere for sure. As a millennial, like my understanding of He-Man comes from Robot Chicken. Yeah, I think they definitely leaned on like people who are like cynical and irony poison, who like Iron Chicken, what am I saying? Who like Robot Chicken too. But then they also were like earnest, but I think they actually managed to blend both pretty well, you know? I like how it kind of felt like a kid's movie, but the script was not kid friendly. It's a PG-13 movie, and they say like fuck, shit, damn, bastard, and also make like dick joke references like so much. I don't remember like the rules being this lenient. He-Man was also famously campy and poorly written, so even the bad writing can be an homage. Exactly. But there are some scenes where it's like they slow-mo during fights. They do these the transformation of him into He-Man where he gets like a blowout and stuff. Like it's beyond being like mind-bogglingly horny because the camera pans down his like sweaty abs or something. It was like, what? I had no idea. I thought it was a kid's reboot. I think it counts because of PG-13, but that's like, those are dirty jokes that wouldn't even... I think this is the thing, is that those dirty jokes are so obvious, that like ham-fisted, that like a kid would notice them. There's dirty jokes in like SpongeBob and stuff that like only adults would catch, where it's like blink and you miss it moments, but they like really harp on the dirty jokes where the other characters are like, what are you talking about, or something like that, where it's like a kid would notice this. Like a kid would very easily realize this is a dick joke. But Not a single person under the age of 25 truly cares about He-Man. What? Okay, I can't say that I care about He-Man like that. Genuinely though, if you know what He-Man is, I'd say watch it. Especially if you like Sakuga and anime and stuff, because it looks so good. Like, it looks really, really good. Some of the VFX is insanely good. There's a remake of He-Man on Netflix though, but seems no one watching. I don't think there was. There's She-Ra. Oh, and a lot of people watched that. Ooh, and a lot of people watched She-Ra, and they were crazy and insane about it. And I stood away from that. But there was a remake of Voltron, which is what maybe you're thinking of. And I was on the front lines in that war, actually. They killed off He-Man right away? What? I guess they kind of did that in the He-Man movie, where they were like, well, he's dead. No way. There's a Masters of the Universe series. I think Kevin Smith helmed it. It is really remarkable what nostalgia can make a man do. Nostalgia brings these directors to like the edges of the earth. But that being said, I liked it. I like He-Man. And I'd recommend you watch it because there's lots of... Oh, I forgot to mention too, Skeletor's like squash and stretch skull face was fucking awesome. You didn't even realize... If you didn't know prior that it was Jared Leto, you never realized it's the perfect role for him. He just slipped right in. He just coasted on by. Kevin Smith killed off Prince Adam immediately because it was the height of subverting expectations. He-Man is like the main character of Masters of the Universe. I don't know if I like that. Halfway through the movie, I was like, wait, who's voicing Skeletor? And they like filter it and post-process it like 12 trillion times, so you would never know. But it's like so hammy schlocky, it's perfect. And his face squashes and stretches in this awesome manner. It's so cool. And then Evelyn is kind of... I think Evelyn is the funniest character because she's like did nothing basically. All she did was like kind of get like masochistic and horny for a little bit. And then after he like actually threatened her life was like, actually that kind of freaks me out. I gotta get the fuck out of here. Did she even have a fight? No, I don't remember, no. Also, Flamer, thank you for subscribing, saying a sponsor for 49 months at tier 3. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But yes, it was fun. I liked the He-Man movie, and I'm so happy that they recast He-Man. Apparently that had been in like post-production hell for a super long time, and so they were originally eyeing up Noah Centineo. Ugh. I'm glad that they waited until a new like heartthrob actor that would take any role given to them like a dog came around. That would do literally anything for money. She had like a 20-second fight. I don't remember. Pretty true to her character, she's like a low-level internet troll. But yeah, there was some funniness with the script. But I think it's like I can imagine the person who would lose their mind over this movie. How's Battle Cat look like? Is CGI? Yeah, he's this big CGI green tiger. And I did Google him after, and he airs a lot more on the green than the orange, whereas I think it's a bit more orange in the show. Whoa! We got a hype train! The Court, thank you for subscribing and saying a sponsor. With your Primey Wimey, you're almost at a year. Welcome, welcome. What did I play this week? We're moving topics. What to play? I really just gotta write down a list. So Metal Gear Solid 4, Pikmin, and I gotta finish Diddy Kong Racing, and then I gotta... Okay, Velog, thank you for subscribing and becoming a sponsor with your Prime. I really, really appreciate it. Welcome. Now you can use like emotes all over the website at twitch.tv flagrantly and disrespectfully. And I'm super proud of those. Oh yes, and I gotta finish Rhythm Heaven, and I gotta finish Mother 3. Well, I'm kind of a ways off from finishing Mother 3. Still chipping away at the old block. Am I at least kind of early? I mean, you're only 30 minutes into stream. I would say that you're early to my streams if you're before 2 hours to me. And Deltarune. I'm not sure I'll finish Deltarune. I'm not sure I'll finish Deltarune on stream because I've already spoiled it all for myself. Will you play any horror games soon? Ooh, should I play Subnautica 2? You guys want me to finish Deltarune? Oh, I do love doing the voices and stuff. More Mahjong soon? Yeah, I guess tomorrow is Mahjong one day. It's too bad I couldn't participate in that tournament. Silent Hill 2 or Subnautica? You just want to hear me squeal and stuff. But I really liked Subnautica 1. Yeah, I'm not sure Subnautica 2 would count as horror for me because even though it would like definitely spook me here and there, I don't have that sort of thalassophobia. Is that what it's called? Or is that just when there's animatronics underwater? Yeah, man, can't leave a game series unfinished like a YouTuber. Are you saying that like a YouTuber I have to finish what I started, or like a YouTuber because they never finish what they started? Oh, reliable Markiplier always finish what he starts. Oh yeah, okay, so thalassophobia. Animatronica underwater is such a specific fear. It's kind of stupid too, because it's not a real fear. The same way that the holes thing isn't like a real fear. It's just like a skin. Everybody's got that skin crawling thing, man. There we go. Submechanophobia. That's right. Yeah, I don't have thalassophobia, so I mean, it's pretty easy to know where not to go. You should fear the deep ocean, though. Why should I fear a place that I'm never gonna have to bother going? You know. Fear the ocean? Oh my gosh! I'm more afraid of lakes and stuff. Did you guys know that lakes are more dangerous? They're super dangerous. Specifically the Great Lakes, because for many reasons, did you know? Oceans are saltwater, but lakes are freshwater. And as a result, you're less buoyant in lakes. So you can drown easier. Riptides are much stronger in lakes than they are in the ocean. So even though there's like a big vast open nothing in an ocean, the riptides are stronger and more difficult to release. Water is colder on average in lakes than it is in the ocean, so it can like shock your system. And lakes are full of evil parasites. You guys are imagining like the local pond at a golf course. I'm talking like a real fucking lake, you know? I've seen the edge of a reef before and it's really freaky, like floating above an abyss you can see the bottom of. Yeah, I can imagine it's like spooky to be in the ocean, but yeah, lakes are pretty dangerous. Sirens are supposed to be haunting the Great Lakes. Really? We put the sirens in and then they killed them and now they're haunting? That'd be just our fucking luck. That'd be just our luck. But yeah, so you guys gotta watch out for them lakes. Lakes, not even once. Having plunged into Lake Ontario many times, yeah, they can be really chilly even in the summer. They like never warm up, which is weird because you'd think like they'd warm up because they'd be like less shallow, but they're still pretty deep and stuff. But yeah, I was out on the lake today because it was a memorial for my peepaw, my meemaw. You think they'd warm up because they don't move as much? Oh, and that's another thing, actually. Lakes move so fucking much, and that's a complete, like, misnomer. The Great Lakes, are choppier than the open ocean, in case you didn't know, because the lakes are smaller than the open ocean, and so waveforms are tighter and resonant, and so the waves can get a little higher on average, and also come more often. So you are like, bam, 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 on, like, the choppy waves and stuff, whereas on the ocean it's more like whoosh, 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 you know? But anyway, yes, I don't know, sorry for the tone change. We released the ashes of my Grandma Martin and Opa Martin this weekend, and so a bunch of family was in town, and so that's what I was up to the past couple days and stuff, and it's nice. It was nice. They made a whole song about this, The Wreck of Edmund Fitzgerald. Yes, exactly! The Wreck of Edmund Fitzgerald! You know it. So I've been feeling a little bit like life. It goes by so fast. And now if I go to that lake, then they're there. That song always hits a part of my brain that makes me tear up every time. Is it a safe space to admit that I've never heard the Wreck of Edmund Fitzgerald song? I just know about the Wreck of Edmund Fitzgerald, but I'm not sure I know the song. I only know Sufjan Stevens' Illinois album. But yes, busy times in the life of Ashton the Martin. You gotta listen to it, it's so haunting. If only I wouldn't get DMCA'd on YouTube. Ah, whatever. I'll just mute it. Get my AdSense back. The life? No, is it The Wreck of Edmund Fitzgerald? By Gordon Lightfoot. For group listening. People all over the world join in. Start a love chain. Love chain. That song has been on my mind today. Oh, I have heard this. I've heard this. I've heard this. But this is one of those songs where it's like I haven't heard in a billion years. And so the first time I did hear it, I didn't even pay attention to the lyrics. Audio coming in, not muted, not muted. No, I know. Ooh, you want to go roller skating so bad? Ah, I want to go roller skating so bad. I want to go roller skating on the beachfront in little dolphin shorts and doing tricks and listening to the disco, baby. But man, it was crazy going on that cruise recently because I had never really been outside of America. I'd gone to Japan, but I haven't gone anywhere like tropical and fun like that except for Orlando. But then Orlando's landlocked, like it's in the middle of the state. So my first time in the Caribbean, and I was like, oh my god, like the water is legitimately just warmer here. I didn't realize. I thought like all deep waters, like oceans and the Great Lakes and stuff, were all freezing fucking cold. But no, it's just the Great Lakes are just cold. So annoying. The water is just beautiful and warm. You step right into it. Should have skated at Venice Beach. I shoulda. I'm still not paying attention to the lyrics. This is a 6-minute song. The Great Lakes are pretty warm midsummer, though. I've not had that experience. Unless it's 80 degrees water and the fish are going belly up from how damn hot it is, it's not warm enough for me. Speaking of belly up, I have a very distinct memory. I don't like swimming in the Great Lakes because of all the like old, not commerce, I can't think of the word. The old like manufacturing maybe that was on the coast and so close to many beaches and stuff, like all the steel mills and stuff. That's just still in the water. That's just still there and nasty. And also, when I was a kid, I went to the beach and there was this big Asian carp that was beached that all the seagulls were picking at and stuff. And so it's like, ugh, there's a bunch of sticky fish and sticky water and sticky metal flakes that I could inhale and bond to the ions in my brain. On the lakes, yeah. I've heard that song before. I just never like paid attention to the lyrics. Chicago bitches be like, beach day. You've sent that exact message like 4 fucking times now, trying to rage bait me, Loki. And I don't know what to tell you, they really are beaches. They really are beaches. So sure there is some like concrete berms and stuff. Good storytelling song? Yeah. I want to make a storytelling song. I think that'd be really cool. If I told a story, what would it be about? Concrete beach is not a beach. I can't be defending that. Well, yeah. Heart Racer is a good story song. Yeah, like that's why I love Heart Racer so much, is because there's like a genuine like narrative. After watching episode 2 of Yanni Neko, do you still have the same opinion as last time? I haven't watched episode 2 of Yanni Neko. I fuck with the non-sand beaches because I hate sand, but cold water, rough waves, IDK. Well, actually the worst part is that to get out of the water, you have to climb these like rickety, terrifying ladders that are full of spiders. I love interspelled kart racing. Wait, that might be a genius idea for a song! Ooh, that's always a thing. Ooh, being by the water. Oh, all the water spiders. Oh, they scare me. What's the vibe you go for? Epic, melancholic? Melancholic, I think. I think I want to go for melancholic. Kind of similar to like I've mentioned earlier, Sufjan Stevens' Illinois. Or, you guys know Illinois, right? Pierce that have been falling apart for decades. They're so Kino though, but they're so scary. You can't. The problem is like they're rickety and scary, and you can't hold on to the railings because again the spiders have lived there longer than you've been alive. The Midwest emo, or maybe like Brandy, you're a fine girl. Brandy, you're a fine girl. Such a good wife you could be. You guys know Sufjan Stevens, Illinois. And I'm not saying it wrong, okay? A lot of people are like, that's not how you pronounce Illinois, and I know. But it's got an E at the end. You get it's a joke. Illinois! What's the one I'm thinking of? I always forget the name. Yeah. I don't know, this is so like... This is like the ultimate like life song to play while you're driving down the highway on a summer night. I was gonna do what gave you the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, that's right. Hold your fire. Because I'm a quick shot now. No messing with Ashton Martin. Credit roll song for real? I know. Sufjan Stevens is the best? Is that why you subscribed to me? Oh yeah, he's got some good ones. Another part of my VOD I'll have to mute. Whatever, that always happens with these talking VODs. When I was setting up my stream on YouTube too, if you've broken the rules, when you try and copy an old YouTube, because I don't have to like remake the whole stream every single time. I just like copy an old format and then change the titles and the game that I'm playing. Sometimes it'll be like, are you sure you want to monetize this? Because last time you played a bunch of fucking unmonetizable music and then fucked everything. So maybe you shouldn't monetize your stream this time and then you can start playing music. And I was like, no, I won't play any music today. So I could just have it normally monetized. Are we playing anything today? Yeah, what are we playing today? I wonder, are there any other songs that are like this similar vibe for like your city? I bet there's a bunch of New York songs like this. Instead of like Frank Sinatra, like New York, that are like melancholic about like, I don't know. I think this is more about like, this song has a vibe of like the general Midwest, I feel. There's like this melancholic sense to like the wide open nothing, in a sense, you know? Mount Erie is a pretty vibey artist for PNW. New York State of Mind, Billy Joel. Ooh. End of Beginning. Oh wait, by Joe, I like that one. Luckily, I don't work a retail job, so it hasn't driven me insane yet. Maybe I say just Toy Story Racer. I did play Toy Story Racer before I played Mickey Speedway USA. Mother Sunday, many are saying this. I'll listen to New York State of Mind after this. Because this song isn't necessarily about... It's like, takes place in Chicago in this song. But... It's about like... I feel like it's about like growing old and coming to terms with mistakes and just like... It's just... so... profound, you know? I only know Raise Up by P. Pablo. I don't know that one. New York State of Mind, Billy Joel. Let's see. Or, you know, actually that's a thing that I've like always thought about. Specifically, I've talked about this on stream before, actually, about like, when is it not like passe to fix your identity around like a thing that's in close proximity to you? So, for example, I thought it was so funny when you discovered patriotism last time you were in New York. Wait, did I? Did I? That does sound about right. Here, I'll put my BGM back on. I mean, if it's gonna be any place, it's New York, right? Don't worry, New Yorkers hate New York every day too, otherwise you ain't a New Yorker. It's a love-hate thing. Obligatory come to Malaysia. Obligatory? I've never had a message like that before. Should I go to Malaysia? You know, is Malaysia... I'm so sorry. I have such terrible... The other side of the world is like black in my mind. Like I don't even... It's a shadow. I can't tell what's going on over there. I can't place anything anywhere. Singapore... Any Southeast Asia, it's a black box to me. But... She's got fog of war. Yeah, there's still like fogs from Elden Ring over those areas. And... man, I recently thought like, I want to go to Fiji. Fiji seems so much fun. And I was looking into these like retreats because like the dollar goes so far in Fiji and you can do all this crazy stuff for like not very much money. And then I finally looked at flights. Man, there is no fucking way to go to Fiji. Fiji's is playground for Australians, not for Americans. Is there like any comparable playground for Americans where the dollar can go that far? Fiji is like 7 flights away. It sucks. White sand beaches in Philippines super affordable except flights. Exactly, like to get to those places. Central America, the Wisconsin Dells, like that's all we got. Like, it's just really cool, but it's been so hot and humid each time I've been. I think it's always like that. Cancun, girly? No, but Cancun, like they're hip with it. Like Mexico doesn't count because everyone in Mexico is like, we're gonna get this gringa. We're gonna ream her. Go to Myrtle Beach. Watch it. You guys are gonna be like, Ashton, you should go to Myrtle Beach during this specific weekend. It's gonna be awesome. And there's gonna be so many things to do, so many sights to see, and the sights to see will be like the nude weekend at Myrtle Beach. Where all the oldsters are letting it hang. That's gonna suck, but it's chill. I'm gonna be the only people wearing clothes. That's the thing. That's the thing. There's some places in the Keys and stuff where like you really gotta research what time of year you're going, because you might be going during the nude festival. And you'll be getting an eyeful. What was I saying before this? Oh, it was like, when is it not? I think, you know, like you can't live your life defining yourself through the eyes of others, right? I understand that. But then, in that same breath, I think a lot of people also live their lives defined by the opinions of others, in that they see people who define themselves based on their arbitrary characteristics as, like, passé, like I said. So, for example, like, when I was in high school, I was always like, ugh, the kids that are like, woo, rah, rah, hoorah, go high school team, woohoo, like really like define themselves by like, perhaps like, I am a football player, I am a cheerleader for this team in high school, and we're like, this is who I am, and this is my people are only within like the scope around me. Like, I always was like, that's not me, you know, partially because I couldn't find like that sort of community near to me, but also because whoa, why am I so conky today? But also because like that just felt like such a narrow scope, you know? And even when I was in college, I was like, I have a like, you know, college pride, like hoorah, rah rah rah, go college team, or like I went to so and so and stuff. I think the difference is defining yourself by something you can change, being a football player, versus defining yourself by a place you were forced to grow up in, i.e. New York personalities. But would you... I don't know, I feel like New York is such a strong, united front that sometimes it can be a little bit like, yeah, whatever, you know. But if you like actually lived in New York your entire life and identify with that, I think that is a different vibe from somebody that's like, I lived in Kansas City, Missouri my whole life. Woo, Kansas City, Missouri all the way. I don't know why I feel like it's different arbitrarily, or like I think that there needs to be some sort of like backing or worth behind it, but who defines that? I guess it's all person to person, you know? NYC is just cooler, perhaps. Well, I think that's the whole crux of it, is that like there has to be like a level of cool for you to not look like silly being like, I'm a Missourian. What do you mean United Front? Everyone there hates each other? You know exactly what I mean by United Front, because New Yorkers love New York. You just said it yourself. There's no need to split hairs to quip. I think it's cool to have pride in where you came from, unless it's Los Angeles. I think it's fine if you are actually from Los Angeles. The only time that I find it to be like, whatever, is like when you're like a transplant, you know? They hate each other but love the place where they live, but they also love each other, you know? It's a complicated relationship, but I like the idea of what New York is, not what New York actually is. I don't think that's entirely true. I think you're generalizing. Man, I think there's nuance. I don't think it's black and white. I'm wearing my nuance hat right now. And you're you're making broad strokes because you're disdainful. So there's shades of gray. You know what? I've always thought that that emote, that Kappa emote, looks like the guy from, what was it? Smosh. New Smosh. Shane. Do you guys know Shane? New Smosh? See, this is like after my time, but I get TikToks about it. Doesn't the Kappa guy look like the guy from Smosh? Man, if you look up Shane Top from Smosh, it is him. No fucking way that's him. Is that genuinely him? Who is the guy in Kappa emote? Nah, I'm lying. Okay, I was so sure because this guy is... The Kappa guy must be like 50 by now. It'd be fun if it was him. It'd be weird. That would have been the crazy... I would have felt so stupid. What the heck? This guy was on Nickelodeon. Man, that's the thing. Smosh, never got into. And you know what else? Good Mythical Morning. I know it's casting stones in glass houses as another yappy entertainer where the entertainment is like 80% yap. I was never able to get it. You know? Smosh ended when Smosh Gaming started. I have no skin in this fight. My normie sister adores Smosh and Good Mythical Morning. Yeah, they're like diet internet stuff. Smosh has really diversified. Also, Napa, thank you for subscribing and saying a sponsor for 21 months. What the hell? I just noticed your your fucking emotes that you posted. OMG, yeah, I never understood Good Mythical Morning. Like I was not there. I couldn't do Good Mythical Morning. I was never really into Smosh even when they were like the two guys and stuff. Let me guess. Wait, are you guys also the types to be like, and Game Grumps ended when JonTron left? What's crazy is that I think Game Grumps has been around way by now. Surely it's been around longer with the new guys than with the JonTron and stuff. Way longer. Man, I remember when that happened. I was on that side. I was on that side and I was like, that was only on for like a year, so that ship has long. That's crazy. That was only a year. Way longer. Personally, I've only known Game Grumps with Danny. Yeah. So wait, so I was right. You guys really only did care about because JonTron was there. Only plays ended when Ding Dong and Julian left. People do think that though. That's crazy. It's like Ray and Achievement Hunter. If you know, you know. Oh, like when Ray joined. But you guys, we were such tribalists. Because I was like that. I was like, Gavin and Michael and Jeff and the other ones that I can't remember because they weren't that important. When Ray left, oh. Man, I think I remember when Ray joined, I was like, rah! I was so fearful of change. Did you watch Funhouse? No, I was out the fucking door. By the time that they really got big and expansive at Rooster Teeth, I was out. I was out of there. Rooster Teeth ended when they got bought up by Warner Brothers. I was out of there way ahead of that. See, because I don't even remember Ray leaving. I don't remember Funhouse. I don't know anything that happened after a certain point in time. But then you know, these are also just old men talking. Granted, they're like gamer old men talking, but it's funny to compare like the Rooster Teeth podcasts to like Good Mythical Morning, because they're kind of the same thing, aren't they? Michael wasn't that old. He isn't that old, I'm pretty sure. I don't know what they're up to. I feel like you're mistaking Ray for someone else. Ray Narvaez Jr., who plays games with Chibi Doki? No. Ugh. Who could I be? Because I'm sure Ray wasn't on the original team. I was a fan of the Achievement Hunter who shall not be named. You're gonna have to be a little bit more specific because I think there's more than like 2. That's the craziest thing. Ray plays with Chibi Doki now? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Ray is like in the VTuber community. Definitely. Ray left in 2015. Oh my fucking god. Wait, I'm so old. Ray. Was he in the Did you ever get into the creatures at all? I've not even heard of the creatures, so I don't know what you're referring to. Ray Narvaez Jr. He's been streaming ever since, and I remember actually back in the day, like, people would start streaming and I'd be like, this is so sad. Like, this is so sad. They're on like their last legs. Like, they're one of those like dying old voice actors that's like running on fumes of a role that they had 40 years ago. Like, they're guesting at cons, but it's like they're piggybacking off of that clout from 40 years ago. That's how I felt whenever somebody was like, I'm pivoting to streaming. I was like, it's over. It's so over. Let's see. How long was he? Man, Ray was only at Rooster Teeth for like 2 years max. That's me with Uber Haxer Nova. Man, I don't remember anything about Uber Haxer Nova except for the Quap stuff. And look at me now. I thought streaming as a medium was beneath me as a viewer until like 2020. I'm not afraid to admit that my tune has changed. I've been watching streamers since Justin TV, so I'd always get happy to hear someone was swapping to streaming. Man, I was so out of the loop. Nova was competing with PewDiePie for a long time. Yeah! Who was it that had the, like, facade videos? I feel like there was somebody who I used to be obsessed with that was, like, adjacent to Uber Haxer Nova, and he's just, like, been wiped off the face of this earth. Maybe it was just Uber Haxer Nova. No, it wasn't Immortal. I remember when Gerba switched to streaming and I was heartbroken. Isn't that crazy to think about? I pretty much didn't watch streams until Hologan debuted. I full-on did not watch streamers until VTubing, which is why when I first debuted on Twitch too, because I was like, well, I'm indie, so I should be on Twitch. I don't know if I'll find a place for me on the big wide ocean that is YouTube, the World Wide Web. I had to like get hip with the lingo. Because face streaming was like a complete black box, and now I know who Cutie Cinderella and Ludwig are, and they're engaged, which is nice, which is so nice. I used to hate Twitch because until like 2019 my internet was too shitty to watch streams. I'm actually gonna blame Twitch for this one. Something about Twitch's website is unoptimized. I don't know anything about that sort of thing, but like, why does YouTube load? Maybe it's Chrome. Maybe it's like Chrome throttling websites and stuff. YouTube loads like that. Like so fast. But Twitch has never fucking loaded properly. It is so slow. It is like bloatware nearly. Something about it is so heavy on the CPU. Like maybe it's like memory leaking all over. I get started on VTubing around Holo Console, if you don't mind me saying. I don't mind you saying. I'm always curious how you guys get in. Yeah, where'd you guys get into VTubing specifically? It always tickles me to know where people entered into VTubing. Especially when people say, like, you're the first VTuber I watched. There was actually somebody who used to be in my community. They've moved on to greener pastures, okay? Nah, you know, let them fly free. But There was somebody who was like a day one in my community and have since like diversified and found other Oshis and stuff, but I was their entry point. Like, can you imagine me being the entry point? That's nuts. I think it was saying Yonner's become a VTuber. Ah. And Crony cried at her goodbye to Ame. Really? That was it? Why were you watching the Goodbye to Ame if you weren't a fan? I started watching Holo JP clips just before Myth debut. God, when did I get into VTubing? I think I got into VTubing at the end of 2018 or 2019. So I was on the ground floor, I'd say. It was clips of Cornet and Nene, then Lima debuted and kickstarted my downfall. Limes! Henya's Parlor playing GTA clips was my first exposure. Yeah, oh my god. Henya did gangbusters back in the day with that. That's crazy. Kyusna I trying to get her first PUBG win. I remember that. Oh my god, I remember I used to watch Hachima play Minecraft in broken English. You guys remember before she like had the split personality like mind break arc? Wow. She was Holo Ian Zero. Even before Coco, I think. I'm speaking it. That's the best clip ever. That's literally the best clip ever. Do you know Kaguya Luna? Of course I know Kaguya Luna. One of the 4 Heavenly Kings. Rip. My Kachima arc with cinema. You guys, I used to be so gullible. There's this one Nijisanji streamer called Sister Claire, and I have a soft spot for nun characters and also blondes. And so I was like, Sister Claire. And I remember back then I was like, she's dead ass. She's a nun. Because Nijisanji also has like people who are like office workers. So I was like, if they got the guy that's an office worker, he could be anything in the world and he chose office worker, so she's a nun. I was like really fully convinced that everybody was their exact age and their exact job. Oh my god, a literal dog! An elf girl! I still think about the Pepperoni clip. Oh my god, Hachima had crazy clip ability. Coco too. Yeah, obviously don't doubt my legitimacy naturally. For a while I knew Elu's full name, but that's gone with the wind now. Even Elu doesn't say her full name, I think. I found a link to the Pepperoni clip in my notes from 2021. Wow, that's crazy. Actually, maybe this is faux pas to say, but has that ever happened to you guys? Has that ever happened to you guys where you're like, no, my Oshi, my small indie Oshi, they died. And then they get reincarnated in like the most popular place in the world, and you're like, what? Oh my god! Coco reacting to herself getting accidentally zooted on stream was awesome. I love that video. That's one of the best videos ever of her taking like Ambien and then just being like out of her fucking mind. That, can you imagine somebody doing that today? That's crazy. Holo JP was doing some crazy stuff. Ooh, I can't remember who was the first VTuber I watched. But Ina crying in that 3D chibi during Myth's first anniversary got me to start caring. And you got me to start thinking in terms like Kami Oshi. What? That's so insane. That's insane. My first holo stream was Ayame. I used to watch Matsuri pretty often. I still see Grimmy going on Ambien and streaming wild stuff. What? She does what? That was you after your surgery? Shh, don't remind people of the pre-surgery Ashton I just replaced. Yeah, she does that? That seems really scary. I bet it rocks on Ambien, whatever game she plays. No, because it's probably like Voices of the Void. I know Grimmy well enough that she probably plays some like scary ass shit. And then it's like living a literal nightmare. You know what? That would make sense. That makes sense if Grimmy did stream on Ambien. You're real right now, right? She hasn't said some racist stuff while on Ambien. That's good. You're being serious right now, because I've definitely gone to a Grimmy stream before and been like, I kind of can't tell what's going on. Not all the time. But if she was on Ambien, that would track. Yeah, I think you're the only person I made a Kami Ocean has stuck by. I'm glad I guilted you guys into only using the term Kami Yoshi when you really, really, really mean it, or Oshi when you mean it. That's my... I can never get behind when people, like, poo-poo the, idleness of VTubing. I love the idle aspect of VTubing. And to Oshi someone is a serious commitment. And to Oshi Hen is an offense in some regard that you'll just have to bear the brunt of. You gotta make sure that that new Oshi is worthy of that love. I don't believe in Kami Oshi because I don't support DD. Sorry, you get one Oshi, that's it. Ooh, spicy. I feel like I can't go that far. I think most people are like DD. I don't mind if you're DD. Darudemo daisuki. That's what that means. I like anybody. I don't mind if you're DD. I don't mind if you're DD. But if you are DD, Darudemo daisuki, I don't like when people flippantly use, like, oh, she's my Oshi. She's my new Oshi. As just like a word for being like, oh, I like her. You know, I'm watching her recently, you know? Because, like, Oshi is like a commitment term. You lost me in the terminology, but I still appreciate you. Ah! I think you're still using it properly. I never know how to respond to newcomers that hate on the idleness. Maybe some gates need to be kept. Yeah. I think the idleness is an important aspect for me as a nerd. Oshi means I spent money on their merch. I think that's a good litmus test for many cases. When I first got into VTubers, I didn't really understand that people could choose more than one Oshi. Well, like people in my chat are saying, Yurgos, many disagree with that concept to begin with. I'll poo-poo the idleness here and there, but I do agree with your opinions on the use of Oshi. But I think I went beyond because I just think I kind of think it's only proper to have just one. That's crazy. Like that's insane that like you are somebody who's like, I'm not fully into the idol stuff, but I still think it's the right thing to do to only have one because you're right. You're right. You're right, exactly. I think it's really a gatekeeping thing. Like almost none of the Niji Sunshine from the ground floor onwards were idol focused. I think some people think that whole lifestyle VTubers are what all JP VTubers are. Actually, that's another thing I want to get into because I think this is a thing that I've talked about before, and I find it hard to articulate, so walk with me as I work through it. But like, I like the idleness of VTubing with, like, you know, re-Hololive and their like attempt, because the whole thing was that he was going to make AKB but VTubers. AKB is idol group with VTubers, okay? And so really the idol aspect of it was born via that specific thing. And Hololive has been the one that has reached the West stronger and before any other culture relating to VTubers in Japan. And so in the Western mindset, VTubing is intrinsically related to idleness and stuff. But that isn't the case in Japan. And I think there's this thing that happens where, like, honestly, a lot of the idol standards, because we don't have idols in the West, they can sort of get, like, mistranslated almost. I've talked about before where, like, now this might be crazy, but some of the most like I would say that the fans of Hololive EN or like Idol EN, which is kind of crazy to say because I think Holo EN like sort of breaks his mold, but like Western VTubers that perceive VTubing through this like idol lens and stuff are almost like stricter than Japanese idol fans, which is crazy. Like the average Holo, like I've talked about this before, where it's like there's a lot of like male on stream, and I respect that if that's like not a thing you want to watch, but I think that's also not a standard that people think it is in Japan, because Korone gets coached by guy Street Fighter coaches, you know, they appear on television shows alongside guys, so like there's a lot of moments where like these idol people in Hololive appear professionally in professional capacities alongside guys, and like you don't really see, unless they're like a nuts, like real idol crazy fan, unless they're like nuts, their fans are not like losing their minds being like you know, about it. The way that I think like the opposite happened, perhaps it is just proximity, because I read English, I can understand the annoyances of people, you know what I mean? You know, excuse me. But it's like, it's weird to think that like some of the like most intense idol fans on like the EN side are almost like a little bit stricter than the JP side with like regards to like the say so idol, etc., you know. But I don't mean to phrase it like you gotta be this way, you gotta be that way. Like, you are free to curate your experience how you please. But to make like broad sweeping strokes about like there's an inherent idol thing, I think that that's perceived as true in the West. But that like VTubing is not like the Venn diagram of like VTubing with VTuber idols. It overlaps, but it's not one-to-one. That just has never been the case. And I think you're right in that it's not really like JP idol culture. Ian Chubas have a purity standard completely different from idols. Yeah, that's basically just what I'm saying. Unfortunately, we gotta blame Love Live for that. And Love Live is the fucking avatar of all evil in this universe. Do you understand? Do you understand why I ride or die for Idolmaster like this? Ah, you guys don't get it. But actually, though, even though there is like a male branch of Idolmaster, when that male branch came out, and actually there's still crazy Idolmaster, but like this is what I mean, like these are the crazy idol fans. They hate the male branch. And then whenever there's like a Masters of Idol World, which is like all the branches of Idolmaster, and then there's the guys there, dudes that are like, boo, like they hate the guys, they don't want the guys there. You know what, I can understand in that case, because every other series in this spin-off in this series, the IP in this series is girls. I can understand when people were like, what the fuck? That even happened in Idolmaster 2, where they introduced Jupiter and the boy characters, Toma, Hokuto, and the other one that I can't remember the name of. I will fight for Love Live, meet me in the ring. Pa, 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 pa. You know nothing. But just having a myriad of thoughts. I'm just joking a little because there are 0 signs of men. No, I'm not. I'm dead serious. I'm not joking at all. You bring up a strong point, which is that Love Live is like a perfect little microcosm of like cute girls doing cute things. There isn't a single male in Love Live. I think they have like a dad in a few cards, but otherwise there isn't a single male in Love Live. And that has sort of colored a perception of like what a true idol would be, which is wrong because school idols aren't fucking real. They don't make any fucking sense. It's stupid. We need a new series called Hot Takes with Ashton. I'm gonna get canceled. You don't even want producer son to self-insert into? Damn. You don't even want producer-san to talk to your girlies with, to be a big brother, to be Oni-san with? What a series no P-san does, right? But I kind of get it though. I think like watching Love Live where it's like just cute girls and having like nothing like strain your mind and stuff is sort of like maybe like watching puppies frolicking where you're like, ah, that's beautiful. I don't need to be there. I just like watching the puppies like nibble at one another and stuff. P-san is what turns me off of it. What? It streams like she speaks on Ambien. Yeah, I don't even need Ambien. Let's see. I will say there's too many Love Lives now after Nijigasaki. I can't keep up. I was out even before Nijigasaki. I remember, well, like I said, I'm a creature of habit, and so every change, I'm like, ah! Especially when I was growing up. So even when Aquars came out, I was like, ah! But Aquars has bangers, so okay, forgiven. They've got bangers. Also, somebody asked, I think typing out the acronym cute girls doing cute things has a deleterious effect on your soul, me included just now. Sorry, off topic. May I know how you met and collab with Lisa? Well, this actually is kind of a long story, I think, because I've talked about before how I was into VTubing before. I mean, we're just talking about that before I debuted myself, which is how I got the idea. Like, you know what? Maybe I can be more than just a race queen. Maybe I can be heard and seen. And so that's why I decided to debut myself. But I was looking into things, you know, delving into the EN side, which I had not done. I was literally like a JP only before I debuted, really. I had some like idea of like myth and stuff at Hollow and stuff, but I was like in the trenches with JP, like Niji and Hollow and whatnot. And I was getting into English VTubing and I found Tsunderia. If you guys remember Tsunderia, they were a company. I think Tsunderia was like the first English VTuber company, and they had, who was in Tsunderia? God, a ton of people were in Tsunderia that are still around, and that's a blast from the past. I know, right? And actually, I think I met Lisa like 2 or 3 years ago. And even then I was like, I knew you in Tsunderia. And she was like, what the fuck? You have known me for so long. And I was like, yeah, I know. So imagine how long we've known each other now. Were you a corpo? No. If it wasn't obvious by now. Miori Celestos. Miori was in Tsunderia? I think at the end there, right? Maybe? I don't remember. Because Tsunderia is crazy. I know, right? So I was a fan of Tsunderia, and I remember when her gen came out, because she was like the last real gen. And because it was Soon Dream. And so there was like a Dream Eater, then the Bunny Boy, and then Lisa, and oh, who else was there? And I was just like cognizant of her because I knew people that worked with Tsunderia and worked closely with the people at Tsunderia, and so I was just like aware of their existence. Actually, crazily enough, I waited so long for Lisa to follow me back because that was like, you know, not to be like social media brain zoomer, but like when I was a smaller VTuber, when I debuted, it was like I mean, I still get hyped when people I like follow me back, obviously, but like I was so hyped whenever somebody that I watched or knew of prior to VTubing would follow me back. And Lisa, like, would not follow me back, which is fine because she's free to follow whoever she wants. And we also hadn't met, but I remember trying to be like, when I was getting into the community, you know, that follow back is sort of like a, oh my god, like I'm seen, you know, I'm seen as a peer. I'm not just like a LARPer pre-debut that never makes it to pressing the go stream button. Like, so I was really like, I would always be aware of her and like tuck my hair behind my ears, like, oh, Lisa's so cool. She's such a good singer. She's so talented. Oh, Lisa, I know her in Tsunderia. Oh. And then I think she went indie, and then I think she went to Idol, and then I think she's indie again. And I used to literally pop off when artists I like follow me back on Twitter, so I can only imagine what's like on your level. Yeah. So it felt very like, oh my god, like I've assimilated, like I've been seen. And I remember really wanting Lisa to follow me back because I was like, this is a show of like I'm in the community. I'm even known by people who have been around for a couple years. If Lisa follows me, and then finally I met her in real life, and then I think I talked to her like, oh, I remember you in Sideria, and I like your covers, and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, ugh, Sideria, that was so long ago. And then we became friends via that, and I don't know, I think it's easy once you have that, like, moment to... That's why I'm, like, so... I'm so... I really harp on, like, it's cool to go to cons in real life, because, like, when you are, like, face-to-face and you can see her fluffy ears and her beautiful eye patch in real life, and you're able to be like, hi, I'm Ashton Martin, like, I've known you for so long, I'm a fan, you know, and you get to, like, level with each other, like, I want to make music too, and then she's like, I love making music, you know, she's incredibly talented, she's got so much advice on it, then it's like, you form a connection that's, like, beyond just, like, a, oh, they follow me back, oh. And I think, like, that's the really awesome part of, like, you know, a follow is like nothing. I've come to realize in recent years, a follow is like whatever, throw it. People follow whatever, whoever, for things you couldn't even possibly conceive, and then unfollow for whatever reason because that's the right, and then it's not a crime and whatnot and stuff. And a big artist I really like follow me back and likes my drawings all the time. Makes me want to try harder. Yes. It's very encouraging, you know. And so don't take what I say when I'm like, oh, it's meaningless to heart, because like it can definitely mean something to some people, but I think you have to find purpose outside of it while appreciating the effects of it. So like it can't be your purpose. I'm like emoting so much with my hands. It can't be your purpose, but it can be like a nice dressing, like a nice like accessory to the purpose. You know what I mean? Like I just want follow backs, you know? And so yeah, I think that's how it's happened with a lot of people. And yeah. Where it's like, it really, what's crazy is now, I've talked about before, 3D model when? What do you mean Fluffy Shinigami? I am 3D already. I guess I don't use it too much recently because I had to work on fiddling with it in Watado for the Nightmare Underground concert. So now I can like delete that stuff and reset my Watado, and now I can do 3D streams again. Yay! Because it used to be like a really CPU heavy and stuff. It's tough because fishing for follow back is something that clout chasers do all the time. Well, let it be known, I on principle refuse to fish for follow back. You know, if I meet someone in real life and that we've made the connection and they're like, very nice to meet you, Ashton Martin, and then they don't follow me back, you know, it's like, you know what? Like I said, you can't find purpose in the follow. It just has to be accessory, and you actually have to like, you have to do the same thing of like not being followed, because it's like, you know what? The follow is meaningless. The follow doesn't undercut like the fact that we talk to one another. Social media has such like funny rules because some people are like, this shit is so stupid, this shit is so meaningless, it's pedantic to hem and haw and wring your hands about it. But then some people are like, I'm dead serious, like. I've had people message me and be like, so-and-so doesn't follow me back. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, and I had to be like, oh, I think she, like, maybe she just, like, doesn't, you know, like, value it like that. And then they'll be like, well, I value it like that. And I, like, don't think she likes me. And it's like, I don't think you should be reading. I think that's, like, mentally ill to, like, read into that sort of thing. But sometimes people do mean it that way, which is why it's like not mentally ill sometimes. Like if you're all like social media brained zoomers, like it can definitely be seen as like a slight, you know? Some people use their feeds very differently. It's true. I use it as a sort of town square where there's like cool things to check out and other things like this is an unshakable bond of friendship. But yeah, I've had it where it's like there are some people that I actively know, that don't follow me. And that's like no harm, no foul, because that I have clarified with them that it doesn't mean anything, that like it isn't like a perceived slight, that they aren't like, you know what, I would like to distance myself from you because of these reasons. It's just like I'm curating my timeline, and if it was that like I want to distance myself from you for these reasons, then like that's just like a thing you'll have to deal with, you know. There's a lot of like unspoken social dynamics to using the internet that you only really get to glean through like being a teenage girl, I think. Sometimes I don't follow someone not because I don't like them, but because I don't want their stuff on my feed. But then I think the converse argument that they would make is like, well, the stuff that I put on my feed is like me bearing my soul. It's like the stuff, it's the things that I care about, it's the things that I like. So if you don't want to follow me, then you are rejecting my most like base personality, you know? So like it can there's nuance. I'm wearing my nuance head again. It can kind of go either way. Sometimes I remember certain people I moved with and I'm just like, oh shit. Yeah, sometimes they pop up. That's me when Narissa's in my life. I'm like, Narissa Ravencroft, what are you doing here? Me bearing my soul, it cannot be that serious. I retweet videos I think are funny. I see, like I said, I'm talking in like teenage girl terms. So like imagine like a private account of a private account of a main account. So when you unfollow someone there, it's like, oh, you want me to kill myself. But it isn't serious sometimes. This is only a thing that you could. This is a language that only teenage girls speak. It would be that serious if you unfollowed me. I hope that the picker that I've accidentally followed then have been like, oh shit, press the button to unfollow it really fast. Don't notice. It was a joke in the FGC. People didn't follow Sonic Fox because they got flashbanged all the time. Oh yeah, because he'd post free stuff. Yeah, see, like, yeah. You're asking the picker to try and put themselves in the mindset of a teenage girl. It is not so difficult if you try. You and I are not so dissimilar. That's right, I'm leveling down. I'm only 17. No longer 21 years old. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna play anything today. These have been fun yaps. My BBD makes me feel like a teenage girl. Yeah, BBD. Yeah, that's kind of like the teenage girl cocktail. This isn't news. It is to me. Which explains things. Hi, Ashi, hi chat, happy Sunday. Hello, Andy. Hello, hello. Ashton has beautiful pony disorder. I don't have BPD. I have OCD. Thank you very much. You didn't have to stream tonight, but I'm really glad you did. I did have to stream tonight. I've told you like 5 times. It's glinted off me. I think it should be a good thing that I haven't retained any perceived negatives. Ashton has CGD. What's that? Cute girl? Oh, cool guy disease. It's just because I say bruh. Ah, I wasn't expecting it, so it's a happy surprise. You did actually promise. I did promise, so I had to stream. And I'm glad I did. It was fun to chat. Ah, it's cute Chilla syndrome. What to play this week? What to play? Maybe I should play Mahjong tomorrow. Rainer Vegas Jr. He's only 36. How old are these guys? Man, the Achievement Hunter guys aren't even 40 yet. You played new Pikmin? You know, I haven't played Pikmin in quite a while. Well, Jeff gotta be old. Jeff Jeff Ramsey. He's only 51. That's not that old. Never mind. Never mind. OMG, I'm 40 this week. Oh, happy early birthday! Happy early birthday. I feel like Jeff looked old even back in the day. Jeez, guys. Jesus. I gotta be careful with these topics. What's on the week ahead, do you think? I think I will play more Pikmin. It's been a while since I played Pikmin 2, and I think it'd be fun to finish. And... Fluffy Shinigami, you gotta come on my stream when it's your birthday so I can sing a happy birthday. Oh gosh, what was I saying? I had to adjust my headphones and it deactivated my thoughts. I'm about to be 30 in a few days. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Happy early birthday to you, Rio Shepherd. I need to be careful now because it's like... Okay, this is me getting too big for my britches. I know, but... Collabs with Northern Lion. You know, that's not a far stone's throw away from Ludwig. And, you know, Ludwig is friends with Squeaks, who, as you guys know, is the world-renowned Super Mario 64 speedrunner. Who, as you also know, is not a far stone's throw away from Germa. So basically, I gotta watch my words. Former speedrunner of the year. You young bastard. I can't help being 21 forever. Ludwig as a stepping stone to Squeaks is so awesome. Does Squeaks even know what a VTuber is? No, I think he's pure of heart. He likely hasn't been, like, tainted with the knowledge yet. Actually, I'm scared of that, though, because way back when I was playing Super Mario 64 for the first time, I was like, you know, it would be so funny if I actually got to collab with Squeaks. I don't know where I got the gumption to even think of that bit, and I actually did DM him and was like, hey, I'm really into Super Mario 64. We should collab sometime. Also, I don't know who Simple Flips is. And of course there was no response. But now it's like, don't ever check DMs. You can't see that message. Germa exists as something of a krypton to me. They tell me campfire tales of this man and I nod politely. Yeah, and just like miraculously some Mondays he'll be live. And no, Squeaks is very funny. He probably didn't even read it. No, guaranteed he didn't even read it. But what I'm saying is that, like, if I toe the line now, maybe, like, if I were to ever get to know Squeaks, he would never be able to DM me because I refuse to have that read out. Simple Flips mentioned. It's like when you raid non-VTubers, which doesn't happen often, but it has happened. I remember you playing SM64 as yourself, Ashton. I want to play again. I want to try speedrunning again. I love playing Super Mario 64. I love it. Getting a good BLJ is so awesome. Man, I talked about it, like, not to be, like, you know, sappy and profound over, like, really stupid shit, but, like, speedrunning Super Mario 64 was such a, like, it was, like, low-key a little profound for me because I started streaming as, like, somebody who wasn't adept at all. My first console was the Wii, and I only played shovelware. Like, I didn't play any good games until basically, like, 2018, I think. And so it was just such a good testament to how far I've come as a gamer, because the idea of, like, speedrunning was such a, like, a lofty idea. The idea of, like, doing game-breaking stuff, having, like, the ability to understand, like, where to long jump, how to press the buttons right, and actually being able to put that into practice was, like, something beyond my abilities for the majority of my life. And so when I played Super Mario 64, even though it's, like, the easiest game to speedrun, basically, because there's so many, like, easy game-breaking things, like, compared to other games, like, you had to cheese the shit out of, like, Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask to be able to, like, do any skips or game-breaking stuff. It was awesome Squeaks helped you out like that too. You got, like, that collab early on. I know, right? Such a kind guy. Squeaks definitely knows what VTubers is, actually, because we collabed. We collabed 3 years ago. Oh, kick strips. But, yeah, I don't know. It's so stupid to say it like that, but, like, Super Mario 64 has, like, a soft spot in my heart because it was like, oh my god, like, This old dog can learn new tricks. Unk still got it, baby. But no, it just felt like, you know, I don't know how to describe it. You guys get what I mean. Not even Skyward Sword. No, I played Skyward Sword. The Zelda games were the only games I was willing to spend like real money on. I feel the same now with you learning Deadlock. Yeah? Wait, yeah? And getting so good at it. Okay, I wouldn't say I'm so good at it. But every time that I'm able to like learn a skill, whether it's like tangible like movement tech or intangible like macro of a game, and like I get good enough to be able to like put it into practice, like I've never been able to do that before in games in my life. And so it always feels like really intense in my soul. I don't know. It's so silly to say that, but it's such an awesome feeling. She's an old school gamer. Yep. Skyward Sword is one of the Wii games I loved. Ooh, I'm glad you haven't been here for my slander. I heard you played last time. How was it? Terrible. It was legitimately awful. But that's because it was my very first game on Lash. I'm trying to learn new Deadlock characters to get out of my comfort zone. You and I are old school gamer to the very heart. I feel like that's definitely stolen valor for me. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. See, all in all, even though I slander Skyward Sword because I think it's not the best Zelda game, Skyward Sword is still an exemplary game, you know? Like, I definitely take for granted how good it is. Like, in the grand scheme of games, it's an amazing game. I've heard some Banjo-Kazooie slander. It's all good. Oh, but it's all like measured, you know? Like it's perfectly imbalanced. Okay, Banjo-Kazooie has some awful parts and actually has some really awesome parts. Actually, do you guys know who Kraken is? The YouTuber Kraken? I got to see Kraken at Anime Expo recently, and we were talking about Banjo-Kazooie and about like how evil Banjo-Tooie is, but how awesome Rareware is. And I'm pretty sure, I think he said that Rareware is his like favorite company for games and stuff. And so we were like, like Click Clack Wood. And why are we going lol bruh? He's VTuber adjacent. Collectathon games blow. I'm just not a fan. Oh, but Banjo-Kazooie has so many amazing things. I have to play Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. I haven't played that yet, but yeah, we were talking about Banjo-Kazooie. Oh, I'm tempted to play it again. And I was whining about how grunty is impossible unless you 100% Click Clack Wood and you get the... I swear he was disgraced. I would have never expected you to know about Kraken. But to be fair, I did like meet him before I knew who he was. Yeah, I've not heard anything in the store about. I think you may be crossing streams. It is hilarious though to go to stuff in real life, and see people where it's like, "Hey, you were in Dream SMP." Whoa! What's it like knowing all those weird people? But I feel like you can't say that as a VTuber because, again, like, I also know a lot of weird people. I've come to know many disgraced streamers. Bro is low-key Icarus? Wait, me or Kraken? Oh. But it's cool to like, I love meeting people. And you have 5 more years in the Shubadakis are gonna be insane. You think? Because I think girls get away with a lot of stuff. I don't know. I foresee blood. Ooh, perhaps the winds will change. What a VTuber life it's been. Never a dull day in VTuber land, it's true. This week, I hope something awesome happens in VTuber land. And nobody announces any graduations. And nobody curses any football games. And everybody is happy and holds hands and spins in a circle and goes la 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 la. Hello, Cho Random. I'm just going back to you saying that in the Alvarez clip. Wait, me saying what? About like knowing bad touchers that play Minecraft. It's a minefield. I think that's the funniest thing. I think that would be a really funny turn of events if it was like a bunch of VTubers got Google Docs. Not to like, okay, I shouldn't say that because you never know. Bad touchers that play Minecraft. The Venn diagram that almost overlaps. You know what it is? I mean, like, but this goes back. Okay, this is my OCD. Okay, guys, I just mentioned earlier the OCD of VTuber Land Death Flag. But you know what it's like? Where like when somebody gets canceled and then people are in the replies being like, "What the fuck? That's so messed up." And then somebody will quote retweet them and they're like, "I know your ass is not speaking on this because here's my Google Docie on you. I've seen it happen." And it's like, ah! So it's like you can never be too careful around these parts, okay? Ashton Martin said many lewd comments to me. Google Doc. That's crazy. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. It's happened so many times. Every time it's like you're speaking on something you can't speak on, okay? And I don't know. I don't think I've done anything like that. Actually, I'll say I haven't done anything like that. I haven't done anything like that. But maybe I did. No, but I didn't. But that's the thing. I didn't. I know for a fact I haven't. But it's like, what if I did Ambien and I streamed and I said crazy things and then I had to delete it? Sunday Scariest stream. You call me an abuse goblin, that's cancelable. That's not the worst thing that a VTuber has done to their fans before. My experience with Ashton Martin VTuber. Stop. But that's crazy. The piggybacking. Putting the scaries in Sunday Scaries. I know. My Google Doc does not look good. It's half written, unfinished idea. That's sort of why I don't like when people do like fake Google Docs, especially when they like hide them really well. Because I go like, it makes my stomach do flips. And then I read it and they're like, so-and-so is beautiful and kind. And it's like, man. Just make out or something. Keep it off of Twitter. Wait, why are you doing my Docky? Oh, wait. Yeah, get your Ashton Dockies here. Dockies. Get your Dockies. Give me back my cortisol. Yeah. That's not fair. Yulo, can you only spike my cortisol? Oh god, I've forgotten the script. Somebody was using this the script. Cliffhanger, really, I haven't heard much about him in the past couple weeks, huh? Detective asking the pick crew using the pick crew plus to point where Ashley does it. That's fucked up! That's so evil! What the fuck? I forget, like, low cortisol. What's the other one? Where it's like Mog, True Adam. I think the utterance of the phrase Google Docky is irksome and in fact contributes to the more lax and jokey attitude toward them. Are you getting on me about this? I'm talking about how much it stresses me out. If I get a Docky, I can never invite anyone into my studio. Oh wait, Subhuman, Normie, Chad, True Adam. But that's just like the stuff that has broken containment. There's more like crazy terminology and stuff. I guess I shouldn't get into it. Because whenever I talk about like negative cancel tilts, historically you guys are like, you gotta die. Neanderthalic brow, negative cancel tilt. Perfect facial harmony. Asha with her big moon body's a luck cell. If you get a ducky, just put it on the dog bed and say it's your dog's cuddle buddy. Ooh, I don't like that. Actually, please don't do that. I don't like that at all. Just because I'm a white woman, you do that to me. That's the kind of thing where the joke slowly wears off during it, ironically. Well, yeah, because the fact that I don't know what it is makes it unfunny to begin with, because it's like speaking another language. I feel like an old person being like, "What's that you say about subhumans?" Huh? Did you see the post where your brain can't tell if you're joking or not? If you keep thinking about doing it, your brain starts believing it. I haven't seen that post, but I'm pretty sure that's true, because it like primes your nervous system so you don't get like the levels of anxiety or questioning and whatnot. Like, I never imagined you ever talking about negative cancel tilts 3 years ago. Somebody roll the clips. Somebody check the archives, because I'm pretty sure I was talking about negative cancel tilts 3 years ago. They say Ashton touched TTS picture, that's why you don't talk anymore. What is this arc? Hello? I can't even deny it either after the balls story. But it can make the youngs mad if you're in your 30s saying these slang terms. That's how the cycle gets even faster. That's how the cycle like moves, spins it into an even tighter circle. You used to really like telling the ball story because it's funny, but nobody can take a joke, okay? Because of woke. Too much has occurred in the past 5 minutes. You know, that's a phrase I've always tried to say where it's like, what's the ball story? No, we don't need to get into it. We don't need to get into it. There's some clip out there of me talking to Fillion about it or something. That's the research you gotta do. Market research. There's a ball story? No. There was never a ball story on the Ashton Martin streams. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. You're holding me at gunpoint. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. No, I won't, actually. You'll have to Google it. Because it's one of those things where I can't be like TLDR. There's only ball stories on the Ashton Martin channel. That's the problem, you guys. I have to be more specific. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys the cliff notes, but you can't bug me about it, okay? You can't bug me about it. I saw someone said their chili got necrosis and it reminded me of you. That's the whole reason why we have inspection day, so you guys don't get necrosis. What the heck? Please don't ball story. Okay, to make a long story short. That's the problem. You can't really shorten it. Don't get into the ethics of me owning chinchillas because I'm a chinchilla Martin woman. Okay, basically I owned chinchillas growing up and they were 2 boys, and the placement of the body parts is confusing, and I'm a young girl, okay? And so I thought they were butt cheeks. I thought they were butt cheeks, and I would be like, tee hee. That's all. That's all. No, they didn't like it. No. I didn't know. I only realized like a few years ago, max. More often than anything, they were like, get the fuck away. What? How was I supposed to know? How was I supposed to know? I've heard this exact story from many rodent owners. Thank you, thank you. Like, can you imagine how often the balls of rats get pinched? Unlike chinchillas, rodent balls are like torpedo shaped and drag behind. They kind of do look like monkey butt cheeks. Oh my god, thank you, Namzoogles, thank you. They look like the bare butt cheeks of those monkeys with the red butts that smack them and stuff. I should grab my chilla balls at Offkai. It was inspection day. Rat balls are pretty unmistakable as balls, and yet people are still going, eh. People still give them a good squish. Freaky. Still happens to bad pick crew. You must understand how I was misled. They have bare little butt cheeks that look like monkey butts. And I was just a young lady. I can never get married now. Don't ever get negative in deadlock if Ashton's around or else. Yeah. Now you understand the power I wield. I do wish I had chinchillas again though. I was just thinking about how nice it'd be to have a pet. And how I'd get a pair and name them Pokey and Gumby. They'd be so cute. Or maybe Jeans and Button. Hi, Chimichangas. Why can't you have chinchillas? I could, but when I used to have last pet that I owned, I used to have stress dreams about not feeding them for like a whole week by accident. And so like the stress of having to take care of another life is like horrifying and weighs on my soul. Pets sound fun until you want to do anything. Yeah, and also like I'm in the summer of my life. I want to spend my youth out and about and traveling. And you need to get like stuff together for somebody to watch them. And chinchillas are so freaky that you got to be careful with the person that watches them too. It's not like just like a dog sitter where it's like, well, most dogs are pretty similar. All you got to do is let them out, feed them, and let them pee and stuff. But chinchillas are unique. And what if they get out? What if they start nibbling on stuff? So I want to be able to travel. Are these names Aston Martin originals, or are you pulling them from something? They're originals. I've had them written down in a notes app on my phone for like a decade. I want to have Gumby and Pokey. I want my Gumby and Pokey, and I want my Jeans and Button. Aren't those the best name combinations? Don't you think those are so cute? Dogs need attention and playtime. Also throw that ball and let them play fetch. Well, yes, but mostly I'm just trying to draw a distinction between like chinchillas have like different, you must be really careful with them. They can't jump from really high up, and because they're so unique, perhaps the person babysitting them will want to like take them out and play with them, and then they won't be able to get them back in the cage, or they might like step on them if they leave them out or something. So it's like a different skill set from dogs, whereas dogs is like everybody knows dog like fetch, everybody knows dog got pee poo, everybody knows dog like kibble and need water, you know? It's like Goofy and Pluto? Yeah, it kinda is. Did you ever see Tintin? Never mind if you didn't. No, I've never seen Tintin. The 3D movie? I wanna though. That's critically acclaimed. You know what I've been getting tweets about the past couple days? The Winnie the Pooh live action with Obi-Wan Kenobi. And the really tattered Pooh Bears and stuff. I think I saw it when I was a kid. But I wanna watch it so bad. Wow, I did not know they were in the same universe. What are you talking about? Just because I mentioned them in the same breath doesn't mean they're in the same universe. You never heard of this? Yeah. One hit my TL that showed him swinging his umbrella like a lightsaber. I know. That's so funny. You can take the man out of Star Wars, but you can't take the Star Wars out of the man. It's just ingrained in him whenever he has like a long saber. He starts spinning it around. Third movie got announced. Wait, third movie? Oh, Angry Birds. I didn't see the original message. I haven't seen a single Angry Birds movie. I haven't seen a single Minions movie. That was another funny thing, that I had a bunch of friends go see the Minions movie at AX, and they were like, Ashley, you should come, Ashley, you should come. And I was like, no, I'm good. And then afterwards, I was like, how was the Minions movie, LMA? And they were like, it was actually really good. And I was like, that's bullshit. That's straight bullshit. That can't be true. I'm surprised people are gassing the Minions movie. This always happens where like things are like, everyone's like, this is the stupidest shit ever, why are we doing this? And then people go and they're like, it's actually not that bad. And it's like, well, where were your expectations to begin with? Like, Yeah, they make a shit ton of money. And you know what actually makes them the most money? I think they're actually banking on people doing that exact thing. Where they're like, it just has to be good enough for people to go, it's not as bad as I thought. And then like, a trillion more people will go to the theater. I heard they said a bad word. Oh, they said bastard. You bastard. I saw Toy Story in theaters. Toy Story 5 just came out though. Evan, thank you for resubscribing and saying a member on YouTube. Welcome back. Oh wait, becoming a new member. I just noticed. Thank you. Thank you for remembering on YouTube. I didn't know they could say bastard in a PG movie, to be honest. I think that those standards like shift and change and stuff, because I think bastard's like old-timey nowadays. I don't think any child will like hear bastard and be like, I think they're gonna hear like, you bastard, and then like it's gonna wash right over them and they're not even gonna notice. Bastard is like not a bad word anymore, I think, by all accounts, compared to like cunt. Compared to that, so. But yeah, you can apparently say a ton of bad words. I know this because I just watched the Masters of the Universe movie with the picker in the Discord, and they say so many fucking bad words. How many bad words can you say in a PG-13 movie? The one-time rule. A PG-13 film is strictly allotted one use of the F word, provided it's used solely as an expletive or insult. I see. Can't be used in a sexually explicit manner. 2/3 override. Occasionally, a film may feature 2 or 3 F words and still retain a PG-13 rating. This requires a special 2/3 majority vote from the ratings board, which usually happens if the cursing is brief, isolated, or used in a historical/educational context. Moderate profanity. Words like shit, bitch, asshole, and dick can be used frequently and repeatedly. Okay, to me, fuck, shit, and bitch are like the same level. Hell, damn, and crap face 0 restrictions. The C word is highly offensive and prohibited in PG-13 movies. Okay, so I was right. That's so, there's so many gray areas, I feel like. The C word, they mean cat. Bitch is way less severe. Bitch is like hell level. What? Bitch is way less than fuck? No, to me, bitch and fuck are like all the same. Hell is HE double hockey sticks, like that's... I never realized that. To me, the hierarchy of like bitch, shit, fuck are like all the same level. And high. Star Wars A New Hope has the same rating as Minions vs. Monsters. I don't find really much issue with that. Yeah, D, B, F, K, H. I wonder if it's a girl thing. My friend is in the same boat, that bitch's fuck level. Maybe. Oh, you know what? Does bitch not equal bastard? No, bastard is a child born out of wedlock, which is why it's offensive. Which is why it's also like, nobody cares. Like, bastard's like old-timey, low level now. She sees it almost as slur against women. That's because it is. I think that's because it is. I think maybe that's why as a lady, I don't like bitch, because if I'm called a bitch, it's obviously because I am a bitch. You know? I got my tongue Sahut horror game in the stream or an upcoming stream. No, but I'm considering playing a multiplayer Deltarune Chapter 5 in Roblox. So you prefer bastard? Bastard and bitch are gendered terms. I don't think bastard's gendered. I think it's a specific circumstance. But you should put the tongue to her Abby in Roblox. Noted. I want to play Steal a Brain Rot again. I've always heard bastard was for men. Wait, we can get to the bottom of this real fast. You bastard. Ah. Bastard. A vulgar insult directed at someone regarded as unpleasant or despicable. Historically, it referred to a child born to unmarried parents out of wedlock. Yeah, it's not gendered. Bitch definition. Literally refers to a female dog or other canine. A woman. A person who is completely subservient. A spiteful, unpleasant, or disliked woman. A female dog, wolf, fox, or otter. Otter. Whoa, that's crazy. When you look at the mentions and stuff, people only really started using the word in like the 1990s. Okay, so it probably was real offensive back in the day. Let's see if there's one for bastard. Yeah. The usage is way higher in the 1800s for bastard. Wow, I love learning about the etymology. Medieval Latin, bastum, means pack saddle. To Medieval Latin, bastardus. To Old French, to Middle English, bastard. Pack saddle, huh? Like something you'd put on a donkey. Damn! It was invented in 1997 by Meredith Brooks with the hit song Bitch. I'd believe it. I love that song. Hey, you pack saddle. You bastardus. I love learning how to swear in other languages. I do think it's curious, but we actually using the swears in other languages is like so like cod lobby. Shikabliat. As the father packed his saddle and left. Oh, that's what it is. That's crazy. I remember being flabbergasted as a child when Harry Potter when they said bitch. They said bitch in Harry Potter. Oh my god. I don't recall that at all. Isn't there a manga with /anime bastard in its title? There's probably quite a few. Can you teach us a swear word in your native language? Yeah. When you call you don't want to say the word squink. Squink is gonna get you killed. You squink. Back where I come from, that is incredibly harsh. What the fuck, Ashton? Look, it was for pure educational purposes. Incredibly offensive term to chillas, yes. Lizard blinking squeak. Was I lizard blinking? The mean ant came to the nurse and said, "There's something wrong with the pup, and there's something wrong with the pup." Referring to Harry and it's not wrong with the bitch. I see. Well, yeah, they got all sorts of funny uses of swear words in Britain. Fanny is a really bad word. Just because it means tootsie. I can't believe you'd say that. You're all squinks. And a fanny's just too silly. Yeah, fanny's like the C word for Brits, which is so crazy. I can't even comprehend that. Isn't that a name too? It is, but it's one that they all giggle at. That's right. I didn't realize that that word was a bad word, peanut bun. Also, Andy Boy is shaking my fanny. Thank you for subscribing and staying a sponsor for 2 months. Welcome back, welcome back. Ever think about how vanilla would shorten to Fanny? No, because what the fuck is vanilla? I don't think about that. Not until this very moment. I bet met a Gen X Aussie couple and I asked what they thought of the C word, and they were like, that is not an appropriate word and we do not use it. So evidently the Aussie thing is pretty recent. Oh! Says the queen of the squinks. God! You guys can't say that. I've reclaimed the word squink, so I can utilize it, but you guys haven't. They were probably metropolitan. Aussie, that's too woke. I'm really surprised by that because I only ever hear people characterize Australian people as saying that word. What's crazy is that, like, oh no, you can't actually. Oh my god, wait! I didn't realize that they were actual things. Oh my god, it like actually is kind of a slur. It's an Eternian slur from the He-Man world. Squink. And they're so cute. Oh my god! Oh, they look scary sometimes though. I'll show you guys a picture 1 second. Okay, this is a squink. Oh, actually, why does this kind of look like Berry Bug? Yo, he's chill for real. Ew, but apparently this is also a kind of squink. Probably from different iterations of the series. They didn't need to change its design. You can't improve upon perfection. Wednesday kind of vibe. He does look like a jovial young man. Probably doesn't get the Sunday scaries. Ew, what these are freaky. Here's also a squink. I don't like that one. Not nearly as much as the cute armless one. I guess they're both armless. The cute blue one, rather. Oh. Whoa! Hey there! Welcome, librarian, and welcome, Raiders! My name is Ashton Martin on the Roller Race Queen of VTuber Racing. Although, my introduction is perhaps not necessary. She did the roar. No way! No way, no way, no way, no way. That is not why you rated me, is it? No! Ah, that's the thing that I refused to do during the Northern Lion collabs, where I was like, no. No, I don't have no intro. No one did? Okay. Good. Humiliation ritual. Everyone declined Kate, yeah. but they were getting on me for it, and then Hina said it out loud, and I was like, no, it's good, whatever, it's okay. Because I don't think Hina has an intro. I don't think Kate has an intro. Yante, thank you for gifting librarian a sub. Welcome. Coming from the NL Discord. No! Don't expose them to VTubers any more than they're legally required, okay? I think it's funnier that way. I don't want them to get settled. I want them to always have a little bit of disdain. Be like, ugh. Not her again. I'm sure it was genuinely mortifying for you, but it was awesome to witness as a viewer. It was legitimately mortifying because I was like, there's no way. Well, you know what happens? What kept happening in that collab was like, there's no way that normal people act this way. But I don't know because I don't watch these sorts of streams, or like I usually skip this part of the stream. I usually skip this part of the video. I usually skip right to the goofs and the jokes, or like I know the voice already, so they don't even need to introduce themselves. But like, I in that moment I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna do that. But also, librarian, if you need to head out, I totally understand. I hope your stream went well, whatever you were up to. I have enough similar parent experiences that if it was a little uncomfortable seeing you squirm. Wait, how so? Like where they're like, oh yeah, you like that anime thing, right? What is it that you do online? Hey guys, it's me, the front robbery driver. Vroom vroom. The squeaker. I really admire you. I could never collab with Northern Lion because I would immediately say something stupid and face the wrath of the Flesh Streamer fans. They want you to say something stupid. They want you to dance like a monkey. The greatest sin is to be... is to not be funny. So you actually would be winning. Do the little dance you do. Yeah. And hit the dial-it. It's funny because NL was having that too. He was talking about Barry saying she wiki dived him. Oh yeah? After the collab? That was so fucking funny. Actually, I'm happy that that turned out like into a funny bit because I remember when Barry started saying it out loud, I was literally like having this like, no, Barry, that's like the one thing you're not supposed to say. I can't remember if I said anything in the moment, but I was like the color drained from my face. I was like, what? Why did you admit that?
So to win I need to not be funny. Bet 676676767676767.
We gotta ban this guy specifically from using the TGS. Anyway, let me put away the scary squink. You squinks. I actually love that word. That's such a funny... That's such an awesome word. I'm just gonna steal it for myself. Barry has this overpowering earnestness that turns most fumbles into a passable bit. Quite impressive. I mean, she aced the test. So... Is that a real word? It's an Ashton word now. The same way that like kunky is an Ashton word. That I stole from Oni Place. I looked into it and that bottom picture is actually a Gronk. Oh, thank God. Because they were scary looking. What's a Gronk? Oh my God, it is a Gronk. Okay, forgiven. They can live in harmony together. Perhaps it's like a evolution. It vaguely resembles a duck-billed platypus. No, it looks like a Webkinz Google. You guys remember the Googles? Like, truly take a look at this, y'all. Also, does Google Images, like, really take a long time to load for anybody else? I feel like it just explodes my computer. Please, I just want to open an image, please! You're ruining the bit. I fucking hate Google Images. Oh, sometimes it's got eyebrows. Please, let me just save this image. Whatever. There we go. Good God. Look. The ultimate being. The perfect form factor. The Webkinz Google. Is it a platypus? No, it's a Google, you bitch. It has no arms. It's its own creature. He can stand on his own 2 feet and his own 2 feet only, because that's all he got. I miss Webkinz. I think that there's like a Webkinz reboot. I should do some like nostalgia. Oh, we gotta play Toontown. Not a platypus, it's a Google. I'm curious how they came up with that one though, because it's terrible SEO. But maybe they weren't thinking of that in 2007. What monstrosities has man created? This is the beauty of the ability to shape things with your own hands as mankind. This is the peak. There's a much more evil or worse creations crafted by the hand of a man. Isn't Toontown an MMO? Quite literally, yes. It's literally a fucking MMO. Oh my God, and we can do like the raids? We can level up and raid together? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I want to play it so bad. The music is so iconic. And then I can get one of those scary... You know what? It's crazy. I'll show you guys if Google allows me to actually Google stuff. What were they called in Toontown? The Bean Dogs? Oh, crap. Toontown Pet. Doodle, that's what they were. Ah, eerily similar to Google, might I add. These are so fucking ugly. Oh my god. Oh my god. Maybe I don't want to doodle. Oh, please. I just want to copy the image. There we go. Ultimately, the same awful creatures, right? No armed, two-legged... Mammal? Yeah, they'd be mammals. Because platypi are they mammals? Yes, they are mammals because they lactate. Yes. But such different outcomes. One is a disgusting evil bastard. And the other is like the peak of human creation. It looks like the sort of thing Europeans have as toys. Europeans did have some scary toys. But no, the one on the top is the pets from Toontown. They're called Doodles. And they're fuck ugly. They're just awful. I hate them so bad. This is definitely one of those things that's like better left in your memory. I don't remember them being nearly this scary. Look! I do wonder what Librarian was even doing. Ew! They're gaping maws. Okay, they're growing on me. I kind of like that they're ugly. Don't look at what EverQuest looks like now. What the hell's EverQuest? That sounds like something I get those like we are under fucking attack memes from. Why is it got a nose? Yeah, I actually think the nose is the real roadblock here. That's the road bump. Like, ooh. It's so close. It's so far. This is how you reacted to us. Would you guys have preferred, what's better, to like something immediately and then like be placated by its existence, or to dislike something at first and then learn to love it for its beauty, you know, for its uniqueness and beauty? What's better? Puffles Mog, these guys, I fucking love Puffles. Wait, have I ever shown you guys my my Disney pin collection? Would you guys like to see my Disney pin collection? Well, that's the last thing we'll do tonight. I'll show you guys my pin collection. I'll be right back. Whoa! What was that? You added a stop race command? Holy shit! So for context on YouTube, that race is bugged. The creator of Killer Races, Sudden Quiz, is in chat. And he added a stop races button! You can't abuse that. I know you won't, but you join the races yet you control them. Inflicted. Oh wait, oops. Wrong button. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I have the power to start race too? What? Good. Know your place, knave. Can we pin trade it off Kai? Off Kai isn't near Disney, so I wasn't planning on bringing my pins, but I guess maybe if any of these pique your interest, because let's see. These are my Disney pins. Well, the reason why I wanted to show you guys is you'll see. But I may or may not have gone a little insane, and this is... I'm gonna open this up actually. I love pins. I do too. I just wish that like there was a place to put them, because now that you don't need to like carry your like card on a lanyard at Disney, there's like no place to put them. So I've got these pin trader boards. This is my Cinderella board, and this one isn't real, and this one isn't real, but the rest of them are all real. And then I also have the rescue. Oh fuck. No. Rescuers. The rescuers, not the rescuers. Like they're unofficial. Yeah, this is just a pin that I got in an artist alley. Not Rescue Rangers, the rescuers. The rescuers. I'm looking around for Cinderella merch, but I've honestly found more Kingdom Hearts than her. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts is back in vogue. Cinderella is not beloved by the Disney Corporation right now. She doesn't push product, so. And this one's kind of cool. It's like a fashion one. Ooh la la. And this one, oh, you guys, I needed to point out the ones that I've traded for. So I've traded for this one. Actually, I feel like this one might not be official either. I can't say for sure. But I've traded for this one. I found it on the pin board. So what happens is you can go to Disney, you can buy a pin, and then if you don't like it, you can like walk around the park and like look to pin trade. It's like a whole culture. And so now that you don't have lanyards to wear the stuff on, this is like my pin cushion thingy now. And Lucifer. And this is another one that I traded for, which is, can you see it? It's the Asian Disney parks mochi. The mochi Martians. Not just the Martians from Toy Story, like the claw, but specifically the food. Martian mochis which have like chocolate and vanilla and stuff. Wait, zoom in. Look, it's sideways in this picture because I can't. You see? Look at them. Yeah, this is my Cinderella box, and then it is the aliens from Toy Story, but it's the food that is based off the aliens from Toy Story. That's popular at Tokyo Disney, specifically. And here are just my other miscellaneous. I've got, oh, Ruka Panic, thank you for the raid, welcome. I've got, these you could tell all came from like a set. I think I actually got this for Grandma Martin because it was Winnie the Pooh. And it was like a lanyard with a set of pins, and so there's Tigger, there's Pooh, and there's Eeyore, and there's Piglet. They're all sort of stylized, and then there's a sleeping Pooh and a sleeping Figaro, and Chip and Dale, because my sister and I, when we went to Disney as like little kids, we took pictures with Chip and Dale and stuff. Is the mochi good? It is the best fucking food in Tokyo Disney. Straight up, straight up. You gotta try it. It's the mochi. I'm not remembering the name. Ugh, I gotta look it up real quick. Mochi Martians, Tokyo. Green alien mochi. Little green aliens, that's what they're called. The LGMs. Yep, the little green Martians. And then at the bottom I have, can you see? This is park stuff. So this is 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World. This is the Space Mountain with Stitch on it. Oh, but I'd love a Stitch's Great Escape pin if I had one. Do I know Gadget from Rescue Rangers? Do I look like I don't know Gadget from Rescue Rangers? I like your Desert Nails. Thank you. And then this one is for Seven Dwarves Mine Train. So it's got the Seven Dwarves. It's really big. So it's like too big to do anything with, but... that is my Cinderella book. That's for at-home use. And the cool thing about these is that like they're foam boards, so you can like take them out and stick them in anywhere and stuff. And like you can see, here's all the pin backings that I have for all my pins. But it has like a cool, you know, it's silver and blue like Cinderella, so you can carry it and stuff. Here's the real big thing. These are like the Aston Martin pins though. Like these are my pins, and I've traded for 3 of these. You can see I'm covering these up again. This one I traded for, it's just like a random old purple Mickey. This one is from the Grand Floridian. I stayed there a few years ago, and it's super nice, and it's mini. Another Chip and Dale, bedazzled Walt Disney World, because I don't know, I like bedazzled stuff. I'm tacky. I like cheetah print and bedazzled stuff. A Minnie Mouse with a basket of lavender. A ballerina Minnie. Cherry, Mickey, and Minnie from a fruit set. And then here was the other 2 things I traded for. The pièce de résistance of my pin collection. Are they worth anything? I've got no fucking idea. But they are worth everything to me. I've traded probably like pins that are worth way more for these, just because I'm sure they make a bunch of these ones that I have covered up right now, but I was just so like, oh, when I first saw them I had to have them. And it is the Pink and Purple Puffles. Look, oh my god, when I found each of these in the park I literally was like, oh! Like I freaked out. My Puffles, look at them. That's why I went to go get them. Club Penguin, there's like very little... I mean, Club Penguin doesn't exist anymore in the eyes of Disney, so like they absolutely wouldn't be making Club Penguin stuff, right? But it was still out and about on the pin boards, and so I had to have them. I love them. And so... you have a favorite Disney series in general? I think Cinderella is my favorite princess. Don't look at my nasty desk man. And here are my pins that I'm willing to trade for. So if you see one and you need one Hatbox Ghost from Haunted Mansion. This is a lightsaber one that I don't remember what for. It's like, I think you get it if you do the light. I don't know. Cuddle Party, it's just otters. I'm pretty sure this is from Finding Nemo 2. So it's like, I don't give a shit about this, to be honest. And then all these like dessert ones or like whatever, you know. Otters are cute. They're cute, but it's like they're just otters, you know. Cinderella is pretty underrated. Cinderella is underrated, and Cinderella has such a great story. And Cinderella has the best straight to DVD video. Like those movies are the fucking best. Cuddle Party, cute, just otters, but it's just like they didn't seem. They're not Disney, you know. It's just like a cute pin. But these are all. I'm getting rid of these, and then these as well. This was another set that I was like, I think it was on sale when I was at Disney or something, and I was like, oh, that'd be good to share with my sister, and then the movie really sucked, and I was like, okay, I don't want these anymore. So we got the Lumas from Wish, and then this is just a duplicate, and then I don't want the skunk from Bambi. This is from that sleeping set where there was Figaro and Pooh and I forget her name, Flower from Bambi. So these are all the ones that are available for trade. What do I think of Cinderella's hairdo in that pin? I think it's Cinderella. I know that it's like weird, she doesn't have ears or whatever, but I think she looks Cinderella to me. The good thing too is that you don't have to carry on the pin backs, because when you trade for a pin, you just like stick it right back into the pin trading thing. What are you perhaps looking to get out of these trays? Honestly, anything that piques my interest. I don't want to get so into pin trading because like it'll be like obsessive. I don't need full sets of stuff. I just only want the stuff that I want, and I don't really get into pins because that's another thing that's like, it's not well documented. They sort of just like shit them out and put them into the park, and so like if I let myself like fall down the rabbit hole, like I'm gonna dig to the bottom of the abyss. Like I'm gonna be down there in the trenches and stuff. And any love for Lion King? I really especially love that one. Is it Elton John? Am I crazy? No, it's Paul McCartney. Wait, no. Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Is that Elton John? I think it is. I love that song from Lion King. Yes, it's Elton John. Yes. That's the best, one of the best Disney songs, straight up. Specifically the Elton John version too. The one in the movie is nice, but I like his own cover of it. But I'm not a Disney adult. I'm staunchly, I really genuinely think I'm not a Disney adult because there's a lot of knockoffs that get into pin boards. Yeah, actually, I'm pretty sure like maybe one or two of mine are knockoffs, but I gotta be careful. Oh, you know what else I noticed too? What happened when I was in, this is just a fun story, not really noticed, but that song was so sexy and I was 8. I know! That song is like way too horny. Whatever you say. It's true, because I haven't seen a single Disney remake. I don't just like mindlessly. I don't even go like, oh, it was so bad. I go and see the Disney movies that are like good or that I want to see, you know? Like I've seen Zootopia 2. And that was really, I love Zootopia 2. I love Zootopia. But I'm not just like a mindless like Disney drone. Like if it's bad, I won't go see it, you know? I'm not a ride or die. I have a lot of nostalgia for like a simpler time and whatnot, but like I don't think I'm a Disney adult in that way, and that like I you know, and the Moana 2 remake just came out and everybody's hating on it, but then again there's people going like, it's not as bad as I thought it would be, and it's like it only has to be like not horrible for people to think that, and then they make $1 trillion more and keep making them, you know? I'm a discerning consumer, okay? I think most of it is that I'm a Disney park adult because I like theme parks so much. I like the parks, which is like the most neutered, underrepresented aspect of the company at this point in time. Whatever. I thought Disney adult was mostly for park people. I think it's like a mix of both. I think it's like a lifestyle thing, and like, I don't know. I think maybe if you guys are defining it as park person, then I'm a Disney adult. But I would say that I don't really just consume everything. I don't even have like a Disney Plus subscription. I just like piggyback. I leech. But I like Cinderella and stuff. I thought it was a Disney park person too. Okay, then I'm a Disney adult. Okay. But what was I gonna say? It was about Elton John. Was it? Oh wait, it was about you guys should ask Namimi about this if you watch her, because when we went to Disney World with Namimi and Barry, I was pin trading then, except I had everything in a big plastic bag like a hobo. I only got these pin folios recently. Oh, and the funniest thing is that this company's mascot, Pinfolio, their company mascot is the Pinchilla. So cute. But yeah, these things are super useful for carrying around pins and stuff to the park. But I was so pleased to see that their mascot was the Pinchilla. And when we were at Disney, I was walking around looking for places to trade and stuff, and I had like just pulled it out, and I told Mimi like, oh, I'm gonna go look at these pins. And so she like wandered over with me, and she was looking. She was like, oh, I had this pin as a kid that was like Duffy Bear. I'm pretty sure she's told the story before. That was Duffy Bear, and I've had it as a kid, but I don't have it anymore because, you know, it's just gotten lost over the years. And I remember how it looks exactly, and I was like, huh, Duffy Bear, huh? And then, you know, I traded for pins. I couldn't find anything. We walked to literally the next pin thing, and I'm pointing out first one, Duffy Bear on the first one. She's like, it's not, that wasn't the right Duffy Bear. You know, like they had the other ones, because I think Animal Kingdom also has all the animals from Shanghai Disney and stuff, which aren't really found in the American parks and stuff. So I pointed out, like, you know, Shelly May, Duffy Bear, and she's like, oh no, those aren't the right ones. And then literally the next one we go to, I was like, oh, there's a Duffy Bear, and I pointed to it, and she was like, oh, that's the Duffy Bear pin. And it was like the exact same one. It was like a niche. He was wearing like a pirate hat or something random, and it was like the most serendipitous, crazy moment where she was like, oh my god, that's the fucking Duffy Bear pin I had as a kid. And so I traded one of my pins so she could have it, because I wasn't going to use that pin. And she was like, are you sure, Ashton? Are you sure, Ashton? Like, I'll buy a pin and then trade for it. And I was like, no, I'll just trade one of my pins and you can have the Duffy Bear. So now she's got like a Duffy Bear pin from her childhood again. That's the Disney magic, baby. They heard us talking about it. But it was really lucky that she mentioned it then, because like I said, Animal Kingdom is the one that has all the, there's like a turtle, there's like a rabbit, that's Shelly May. No, Shelly May is a cat, and then Duffy's a bear, and then they have a rabbit. But they're all this like cute cast of characters that's only available in like the Asian Disney parks and stuff. But that was such a fun Disney magic moment. I don't know. So yeah. Sorry, I needed to show you guys my Puffle pins. Like, easily my most favorite pins was finding those Puffles. I literally lost my mind. And especially because these are the only ones I ran into, and it was pink and purple. Those are the only ones I've ever seen, and they were my colors. I was like, these are my pins. They were meant for me. Sorry to be a Disney adult, but just sharing a little bit about my interests in life. But it is midnight and it is Sunday, so I think I'll cut my yaps here. And I'll see you guys again very soon. Maybe I'll stream tomorrow. The enthusiasm is what makes it fun. I'm glad, because I know that I'm just speaking straight gibberish. Yesterday too, we were in this like we watched a movie in the Discord, we watched Masters of the Universe from this year, and we played Deadlock games, and we got to yapping and stuff, and I was talking about roller coasters, and it's like, it's bad, y'all. I can identify them by their track, because like different companies have different tracks. Vekoma. Oh my god, the names are escaping me right now. What was it? Vekoma, GCI, and then there's a ton. Hollinger, Mabillard, and then in Intamin. I mean, there's tons, but like you can all tell what track is which based on. She gets off track sometimes. I get that. I got that one. But that's it for today. And who knows what the week has in store. I think the one thing I can say is that I'm not doing any collabs this week, because I'm tired socially and I can't handle any more collabs or at least one more week. But after that, maybe another. But this will be an all Ashton only sorts of week. Ooh, maybe if I have time, I'll do the VR chat stream. But until then, that's it. Make sure you follow me on Twitter because that's where I post my schedules and also any errant thoughts. There's gonna be, you guys are not gonna want to miss what the Martin is cooking. Because there's still more stuff to be announced, so you should definitely keep an eye out. Oh, and Offka is happening later this month, and there's so many new pieces of merchandise of me. It's crazy. I can't believe that this is my life and that I've gotten to this point where I have so much merch made of me, and it's also such amazing merchandise, and I'm so excited to be able to post about it and share where you guys can pick it up. And yeah. Wait, more announcements? No, more just like the content train keeps rolling. You won't want to miss them. I'm about to go bankrupt building my Ashton Eden bag, literally. There's so much stuff. It's like not even considering any other VTuber that you might be a fan of. Also, hello, Mr. Random Visor. Welcome to my streams. Not even considering any other VTuber that you might be a fan of. Why am I emoting so much with my hands? That's so cool. I know. I'm so happy about it. But that's not until later this month. At least, how many more weeks? Just 1 week, right? Yeah, it's next week. Whoa, that's kind of stuck up on me. Holy shit. I'll be streaming as much as I can before then. So maybe 5 streams this week. So Monday I'd like to stream. And then... let me see. Wait, when is Offkai? When is Offkai? Okay, yeah, it is the weekend after this. Oh, shoot. Ooh. Yeah, it's coming up super fast. I think I can stream most every day, so I'll aim for 5 streams this week. Maybe 5, including the VR chat one, since it'll be only Twitch. So 4 on YouTube, 5 on Twitch, maybe. Maybe. If I got the energy, if I got the time. That's insane. No, it's not. I've definitely streamed 5 times in a week before. Don't wear yourself out. I'll keep it in mind, but it's a maybe. I'm considering my options. I definitely want to play Pikmin 2 again. We're in the post game of Pikmin 2, and I haven't played it in a while, and I'd like to shake things up and go chibi. But yeah. I super duper appreciate everybody that joined me today. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you again for more yaps and gaming, retro gaming, because I'm Ashton Martin, the roller one race queen of VTuber racing, and I love everything retro anime, retro music, and retro gaming, which is what I do the most of on my channel. And I want to play more Resident Evil, and I want to play Silent Hill 2, and I want to play Pikmin 2, and then I want to play more shovelware, and I want to play Deadlock, and I'll play Subnautica 2. Okay, those aren't retro, but it's still fun. Mahjong, technically retro. You will have to follow and join the pit crew. Just stick around, and I hope to see you again soon. Wait, I'm doing my whole preamble, but I haven't, or I guess post-amble, but I haven't found anybody to raid. Okay, we'll raid on Twitch, not on YouTube. You guys know the deal, because I don't know how to do that. Whoops, I need to figure that out. Who to raid? Who to raid? Let's raid Hiyumi now, because it seems like it is her birthday. Go. All right. You've been saying that for like a year now. I know, but I don't know where to look to know who to wait on YouTube is the thing. I'll figure it out, maybe. No promises, maybe. But that's it. I already gave you guys the whole ramble, so I won't get into it again. Will I see you again this week? I hope that your guys' week goes well. I know that it's Sunday. I know that it's Sunday, and you may have the Sunday scaries. But I wish you lots of luck in completing your work at your racetracks. Get lots of laps in. Sunday fundy. It was a fundy after I got to stream with you guys. And I hope that you had an awesome weekend as well. And look forward to more fun stuff. And that's it. They're going to hit me with the car at the racetrack tomorrow. Man, they hit me every day with the car. Stop whining. That's part of the job. The racetrack's a loop. Just keeps on going. Thanks for being my passenger.